atop 1926 Hollywood Boulevard. You're listening to SoFloRadio.com.
John George is coming.
He is mean, he is cruel, in fact he hates all of you. And his mother too, because George has a dirty heart. Likes to swing with the chicks and the towel on his hips. Has supple nipples twist, because George has a dirty heart. Jorge has no time to hear you whine. He would rather smell his raunchy farts. Better watch what you say, or else he will make you pay. Don't get in his way, because George has a dirty heart. He's a cannibal, but won't eat guys, and proud to be uncircumcised. Tolerates just a few, and if you annoy him too, he will say fuck you, because George has a dirty heart.
That's fine.
Police, they wanna bash in my head. The word police don't like the word that I said. The word police won't be happy until I'm dead.
The right-wing nuts want to protect us from ourselves. You gotta watch what you say, you better, or else
You're busted, you're busted. The word police are monitoring every goddamn word I say and finding me. Why do they say this country's free?
I hereby order you to desist in using any coarse language by the power vested in me and our Lord God Bush, the Federal Communications Commission, and my bronze Mandingo goddess, Michael Powell.
The word police, they wanna bash in my head. The word police don't like the words that I said. The word police, they want my civil rights dead. The word police. The word police. The word police.
12:03. Welcome to the show, Jorge Rodriguez show, featuring Jack Frost over there. Just turned for the camera briefly. I don't want him to hog the spotlight. That's why I kept relegating him over there. And then, of course, I don't know if you saw my Facebook posting this morning, Kent Wallace. It's a renowned poser and impresario, Kent Wallace. So a little bit backhanded. Just, grab that microphone and put it right up to your face there. You know how it's done. I think you turned it off. I think it's off, man. There we go.
See?
You're fingering the microphone.
That's all the action I've got.
And you turn it off. I know. I see it. I see you in action.
Sad.
Over at G's place.
I try.
Just a heads up if you see the phone ringing over here, because I'm going to turn and face Kent Wallace. Brett Hubbard should be calling in this first segment to promote the Beer Fest that's going to be going on Saturday. We have a lot of things going on.
Oh, there's a
Saturday.
beer fest?
There is, and nobody invited you. And
I don't blame them.
They wanted to save beer for other people.
That's what I was going to say. There'd be a beer conquest, not a beer fest.
It'd be a beer fiasco.
Yes.
If it was you, and then of course Jack Frost over there on the blue mic. Don't forget to tune into the spot tonight. A lot of foul language.
Always.
The opening song today, "Word Police" by Boca Britt, because we have a policeman on the show today, and then of course the word police is something that we used to have to fight for many years here in radio, but we don't have to do that anymore.
Well,
because
not here.
On internet radio, we can say shit,
but you still got to fight it
literally
out
and figuratively
there in the trenches.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's going
world.
It's going away. It's
Slowly but surely.
for all of their efforts. I'm reminded of that that phrase by the famous Princess Leia when she's talking to Darth Vader and Grand Moff Tarkin on the Death Star. The tighter you close your grip, the more systems will fall through your fingers. The government, for all of its efforts to keep us from hearing foul words, they've accomplished nothing. Somehow, the children and the church ladies alike, they seem to hear those words. Yeah. Well, everybody's all upset about words.
The problem is what happens in the civilian world where they don't have that power over you. They tend to
the power of the First Amendment, which they're supposed to.
They start like delegating their little righteousness to you.
Exactly.
So they maybe the squeeze that dripped through was some of that fascism from the government, because there are people to this day who have nothing to do with regulatory committees or anything like that will just say, well, that's not funny, that's inappropriate, it's this, it's that. I mean, that doesn't change. And frankly, it comes just as often from liberals as it does from these conservative yahoos.
Well, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say just as often, but you can catch the people on the left, or that say they're on the left, or the Democrats, you can catch them in hypocrisy all the time. Yeah. I think reason number one for that is that ultimately they have to play politics, and no one wants to come out in favor of foul language, or make it like. But
although
that
would be representing the First Amendment. See, that's what I don't.
This is what we have.
The reason we got the Second Amendment was to protect the First Amendment. You get to carry a gun because if someone tries to shut you up, you shoot them.
You shoot them, exactly. And I'm all for that. I'm for all of the amendments. I was going to bring
the kneecap.
I could go to my car and get my Constitution out of the glove compartment for the cop that's going to show up later, because I think we're going to have a rip-roaring time.
I
with
think
your cop
so.
friend, but I want
it's the I call him the comic cop. That's
you
not,
did.
He hasn't given himself.
I
that
put that
label.
on Facebook.
I
why?
call him
Well,
the
then why do you call him that?
Because he's a cop and he's a comic.
He does stand
Jerry
up.
Sommer. He
does shtick well.
Not only does he do shtick and stand up, he does it at the Vault, which apparently you might know about it.
Right.
Like
that's
the black thing.
Yeah.
Our friend
over there.
So a cop at a black spot.
Yeah. Our friend Larry Larry the dog is often at the Vault.
Mm-hmm. See, I don't even know about, but I know they have but they do the comedy once a month. He'll explain it once a month, and then they do every Saturday. There's an event or something like that.
Hip hop night.
It's hip hop.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
So they really need a cop there on that night, because of all the.
No, the cops
exactly.
All the black people.
Me?
All the black people.
They don't have to show up on that night.
You know how the black people are, with the crime and the drugs in the parking lot there, all the time with the crime.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. So is Jerry of color?
He's white. I don't know.
The white's a color.
Although no, actually he's Cuban.
I was thinking.
I remember his shtick. He's Cuban. He does this whole little riff about his Cuban grandmother.
Hey,
look at you,
Mister. We come in all colors. We Cubans.
Don't
don't say, are you white or
except
Cuban?
the people that came from slaves that landed over.
Oh, by the way, thanks
there
for bringing that commie on my show last time you were there. You know how much grief I got for the commie that you brought on the show?
Oh,
Oi, Gavalt. And remember, he was great. Just to revisit that a little bit, I started by saying, I'm the one that gets beat up on my family. I'm considered the Castro apologist in my family for pointing out some very obvious isms, like who knows what would have happened if not for the embargo. You're not even supposed to say that in my family. But he was actually, and can you imagine someone running for office on a platform of we're going to forcibly evict people from their homes that have too many rooms for them.
Well,
so that we can move people in from the projects. Essentially, can you imagine if somebody suggested that here in America? Especially the right wing, which likes to rationalize wealth and greed at all costs, and screw you and screw food stamps and welfare and healthcare and any government. This is. A lot of people have that attitude here in America, and you're going to suggest to them that they vote for a candidate that's in favor of talk about spreading the wealth, evicting families from houses that are too big for them, so that we can move welfare schleppers in there.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you imagine?
But I think I defended that. I think I articulated that quite well. The veins bulging from my neck.
Oh. But I love having guests like that on the show. So looking forward, Jerry, is that his name? Jerry
Sommer.
Jerry Sommer's coming in, and sure,
it doesn't sound Cuban.
I plan to crack wise.
I wonder what that part is. Well, it could be like
that could be a fake name. Everybody's got a fake name, Jack.
I don't think
Everybody's got a fake name, Jack Frost.
I know he's a New York guy.
What's with you people that don't have the courage of your conviction?
What do you mean?
Use their real name, like my name. How
the fuck does he supposed to know what his name
Fatty
is?
Meats. Oh, are you implying that because he's black, he doesn't know who his father is?
Who said that?
Jack's Haitian, so he does know who his father is because they violate.
You guys voluntarily came over.
The stereotypes.
All right, my man.
We were talking about Haitians last week when
So you're
Khalid
at
was
Ellis
on here.
Island.
And what?
What?
Your name's at Ellis Island.
Hardly. No.
Hey, I'm just, come on, man. What, everyone got all fucking serious.
Do you know
all day?
why?
Immigration office.
Do you know why Haitians don't bathe before coming to America? Because they always wash up on shore. Boom, bam. Again, how do you get 40 Haitians into a wash tub? It's all washing jokes here. You tell them it floats.
Listen,
bam. You gotta actually get a rim shot in there.
The kettle
I'm looking
black.
for it.
Oh my God!
Cuba.
Oh my God! Well, Cuba. Well, the reason, and we talked about it with your friend. The reason that there was a revolution in Cuba, not once but twice, but was because of the practice, the very institutionalized and widely accepted practice of white people not being nice to black people or people darker than them in Cuba. Cuba was very much, I call it a plantation nation. It was very much like a southern state.
Yeah.
It's the size of Florida, and it was very much like a pre-Civil War southern state, but on a national basis. The Southerners were fighting for the preservation of a system that Cuba enjoyed on a national level.
Right. Well,
and even though Spain freed their slaves before any other European power did. So
But what did Jamaica the first one?
But nevertheless, well, that was the English.
Right?
No, of all the
English.
colonies.
Huh?
English. The English
Jam-
state.
But I mean, what? Oh,
No,
okay, I see what you're saying.
Spain freed their slaves during the colonial days.
Right.
It caused a series of side effect problems for Spain in its relations with the other European powers, especially even the United States after the United States won its independence, because the United States, remember, didn't abolish slavery until after the Civil War.
That's right.
So one of the reasons that Florida became American property is because slaves were running away to Florida, where upon arrival they were designated as free. The Spanish crown did not have an extradition procedure for returning runaway slaves to the United States, and the slave chasers. I don't even know what they were called. The men who would chase the slaves down and return them, the bounty hunters, were not allowed to come into Florida. And if they were caught by the Spanish authorities, they were shot. They were rejected. It's like, you're not going to come on.
I think the same applied for Texas as well, didn't it?
Sure. Well, that's going on. That still applies in Texas. If you leave Texas as a black person, they can't come after you.
That was
that's comforting.
And that it goes whether you escape into the United
sound
States
like you'd wanna be
or
there in the
Mexico.
first place,
Well, the
then.
Republic of Texas, we covered that. The Republic of Texas, I'm going to be sacrificing a lot more chickens to Chango, because Chango answers prayers, ladies and gentlemen. Chango, the Vodun god, also because both Santeria and Voodoo came from the Vodun religion of West Africa.
I did not know.
Okay, well, anyway, that's why it's called Voodoo. It's because it's actually Vodun, and it's a pantheistic religion, a pantheistic pagan religion, and the king of said religion is Chango, the god of lightning and fire. He wields two axes, he wears a crown, and he's black.
He's
and
the Thor of
he's a
the
badass. Yes,
the
he
dark
is.
continent.
He is so Thor.
Sounds like a porn star.
Yes, he is. He's Thor, but that's because he's so popular. So I sacrificed a chicken that Texas would get Ebola. Look at that.
See?
Look at that.
Well,
there.
New York got it.
Eventually. Yeah, you know what? That wasn't my fault. I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with the whole thing. But back to Spanish history and Florida history. So the United States kept complaining to Spain, listen, our slaves are escaping to Florida, and you don't let us go get them. And so you're encouraging, basically by that policy, you're encouraging more slaves to run away and run to Florida. They were running in, the word Seminole it comes from Cimarron, which means runaway. The Seminole Indians.
I did not know that.
The runaway slaves took refuge with the Indians of the swamp, which also were not the indigenous. They were also Indian refugees that came running away from the Indian Wars. Everybody was running away into the swamps where they could fight the...
Nobody wanted to go to the...
fight the white man to a standstill over there. So they were setting up shop over there, and we did not... Oh, excuse me, man, I'm getting text all over. So Spain wouldn't allow the slavers to come and get the slaves back. So as a compromise, the United States was like, well, why don't we take Florida off your hands? You obviously aren't taking it very seriously. You just have the one St. Augustine colony there. You just use it to reload the ships with water and food before sailing off to Spain. So why don't we buy? It's like the Louisiana Purchase, but nobody talks about that. They purchased Florida in 1826, and that was it. So basically, so that the United States could come get their slaves from from Spanish territory. They stopped Florida from being Spanish territory. So it's all about slavery. I can't talk today for some reason. You've got me all flumstered.
Oh well, I do.
Over here, Kent Wallace.
So
even though there was that attitude in Spain, the oppression continued. You understand? The Spanish crown saw the morality or the immorality of slavery. But the white colonists did not feel obliged to be any nicer to the peoples of color, whether they were Indian or whether they were African in origin. They still continued to oppress the minorities on through the 50s, and that's what the Castro Revolution was addressing. The inequality in Cuba was largely along racial lines.
Well, that's what Frederick was talking about.
Sure.
That's why when he looked at you, he said you were on the white team.
Yeah, but understand something. There were a lot of people
that
but here's the thing, because he was getting all arm flappy and spazzy. People like my father, and there were a lot of white Cubans who were in favor of a change, a different kind of system, who didn't want there to be this two-class system.
Yeah, you don't have to wear a uniform anymore, Leroy. Just come show up for work.
Well, seriously.
That's what they were into. That was their kind of change.
Yeah, no, seriously. Yeah, right. Castro would not have taken over if he didn't have white people also sympathetic to his cause. And he fucked them over also. You understand that even the people that were sympathetic to his cause, it became like Animal Farm. Those white minority people that were sympathetic to his cause, they got to be in positions of power. Castro didn't promote dark-skinned people to positions of power.
No freaking fan of
you understand?
Castro's.
He took everybody's property and he feathered his own nest. He and his buddies and his white supporters, they improved their position considerably.
I mean, so show me a time in history anywhere, any culture, any civilization where it's been any effing different.
Well, that's not contrary to my point. So my message to your communist friend over there is that kind of thing isn't going to fly, buddy. And you're not going to get people that are going to be in favor of
work here.
Forcibly evacuating people from their homes. Right. Can you imagine that? Talk about the Communist Party, like in China, like in Russia, where we're going to drag the rich people out into the street and shoot them in the head, and like they did in Russia.
The rich people are always in power. Never forget that. Well, that's just the way it is. You don't have to be born rich to get rich, but the rich people will always have power. It's the nature of the thing. It's a monopoly. Look at a fucking monopoly board. The guy with the most money, the most hotels.
This potty mouth cussing on my show. This First Amendment zone over here.
First Amendment. You've made me relax.
We started out
today.
Could have been the beer I didn't even give you a drink yet.
I went from G's to octopus to distribute.
Oh my God, octopus, man.
The puss.
What a crazy joint that is. Welcome back to the show, Kent Wallace. Is that a new Cahoots episode?
Well, it's a newer version of the same issue that I brought in last time. Remember, we're a quarterly.
Who?
We are a quarterly.
A quarterly what? Sorry, Jack was distracting me. You got audio there? You totally derailed me over here with all your communist talk, because we were talking about First Amendment. I know you're not a commie guy. I'm the First
Amendment guy.
You're the First Amendment guy. This is a First Amendment zone here, because I wanted to take this first segment to talk about all the great new shows that we have coming on here,
goody.
Including on Saturday night. Here's a conversation that I didn't think that I'd ever be having. Words, every once in a while, you never get too old to surprise yourself by the words that come out of your very own mouth. Does that ever happen to you, Kent Wallace?
All the time.
Beautiful girl asked me the other day, hey, are we still going to the fetish party? It's the Vault, as a matter of fact, since you mentioned it. Hey, are we still going to the fetish party at the Vault on Saturday? All right. You ready for this? The fetish party where we're going to wear leather.
I get what fetish is. Remember what
clamp our nipples. Of course, I know you know. I'm speaking rhetorically because the audience. There's other people listening besides just us.
For you idiots, don't know what a fetish is.
Play along, but you do. You understand. If anyone does,
I've never got it.
Getting your butt whipped and everything. And so she says, "Are we still? This is a really pretty girl. We still going to that fetish party on Saturday night like we were planning to?" And I said, "Yeah, I can't because I'm going to be producing a fundamentalist Christian radio show that night." Here on SoFloRadio.com, where we're going to be playing religious music, hymns, and we're going to be reading scripture.
No hers, just hymns.
And praying for people. Sharing the word of God and praying for people here live on the internet radio.
I think you should do one of those. What do they call those things when you take it on the road when you do a show from a
remote?
A remote
tent revival.
Do the tent revival at the Vault with the fetishes. Just convince them of this. Think all the converts. You got potential converts.
Wow. There you go.
I'd be all about that.
As a matter of fact, you could go to a fetish party dressed like Jesus and it wouldn't be inappropriate.
No.
You could just have a Roman soldier following you along, whipping you. A lot of people getting whipped.
That'd be awesome.
A lot of people getting whipped there. You get a little Passion of the Christ routine there at the fetish party to fit right in. I really appreciate these people that are putting the show on, because don't think that I didn't try to scare them off.
I think it's great that you're doing that.
I tried to scare them off.
That's
your
First Amendment
to welcome.
credo,
this is the shirt that I'm going to wear while I'm producing the radio show.
I think you should, but
you know what?
Something tells me that they probably did some due diligence and realized that you were a venue for freedom of speech, and that you weren't going to make. Although you might bust their chops on your show, you would certainly allow them the opportunity to express their opinions on your station, and that's why we love you, George.
No question about it. And people, I love you too, Kent. Well, people that have listened to me on the radio show know that I used to be a Christian, and a very devout one at that. And I studied the Bible, and I was did Bible study and was on the Bible quiz team and everything for a while.
And a choir boy?
No, I was not a choir boy.
Altar boy?
Actually, nope. I did a altar boy routine during a wedding once, and that's not the same thing.
Okay.
You understand? When you are having a Catholic wedding, they have the wedding party, if you will, complete with the ushers and the bridesmaids and the best men. And in the Catholic wedding, they have their altar boys that are not the standard church issue altar boys. They take members of the wedding party, the youngsters, because everybody pitches in the wedding, and they find a role for you. And of course, my family, out of the kindness of their hearts, they found a purple dress and a lace vest for me. That was my role. Put on this thing. The other family members got to be the altar staff, but I didn't go. That's not the same thing as being an altar boy, because to be an actual real altar boy, you have to go through a training process.
Well,
you have to qualify. You go through a training process.
Come on, my daughter got to be. They would select kids. It wasn't much of a training process. You wear this, you do this, boom, boom, boom.
There you go.
Ring the little chime.
That's a training process. I didn't go through all that.
I was training, bro.
I went to one wedding rehearsal where they just showed me where to stand, and I got to stand there while my feet went numb, while the guests.
I've had 6 wedding rehearsals.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah,
because the next one's going to stick, baby.
Oh yeah, that's what you keep telling yourself.
Right, I call them all rehearsals.
But these people, the kingdom of God, I drive by their church all the time because it's right by the roller ring.
Is that where these guys are from? The kingdom of God.
From the kingdom of God. Their logo is on there. Well, see, here's the thing with them is that they actually take it seriously. There are not all Christians are fakers. You understand? They take it seriously.
I go to church,
and they believe that in ministry that actually takes place outside of the church. They want to reach. They're already reaching the people that are inside the church. Of course, they're evangelists, and they want to reach an audience that is outside of the church. And so basically, they're going to witness to us heathens.
Right.
Here on SoFloRadio.com, and very proud to welcome them here on Saturday night. Got a lot of things going on Saturday.
The power of Christ compels you.
When we're still waiting for Brett to come in. We have that drop in there somewhere.
Yeah,
if you media monkey that Power of Christ, you'll find that in there from the
Exorcist.
From the Exorcist, right? We have Exorcist music, as a matter of fact.
I
was watching an Exorcist show. Please find the Exorcist. It's called Tubular Bells. Do you got Media Monkey going? I don't believe you. Tubular Bells. And I was watching Daily Show reruns. I Hulu it.
Yeah.
There are still Catholic priests performing exorcists. Their particular story.
There are exorcisms that still, of course.
Yeah, the one story that they were featuring was about a priest who performs exorcisms over Skype. And so yeah. I shit you not. And they were...
I wonder if they perform circumcisions over Skype at the Temple Beth.
Yep, they do.
Cuddy-poo.
But they don't use Skype, they use Scalp.
Scalp?
Yeah, it's a different...
That's right,
it's a little bit more...
app. It's a different app.
Yeah, it's hands-on. It's not just an app, but of course an attachment is involved, that you hook up to your phone because, you got... the attachment fits over your schlunger there. And there you go. So you can't find Tubular Bells? Is that what you're telling me? I don't believe you. I don't believe you're trying to find Tubular Bells.
It's okay.
You want me to race you?
No.
Okay.
Because you're already up.
Do you know how to... why aren't you?
No, you're already up.
No, and... you still don't have any audio going? I thought you did.
I got audio. It's just taking a while to load up.
To what?
He's got a slow machine over there.
I don't believe it. What? Drumming on the table. There we go. So we can talk about exorcisms. It's really hard because Randy does her show, and I don't want to make fun of her or anything. But when I'm producing a show for other people, that's their show. So I just shut my fat mouth,
right?
Because apparently she's gone back to the Catholic Church, and I just shut my fat mouth. But what I would have said is they hate women. They're
Who hates women?
the Catholic Church does. They're misogynists.
Well,
they
yeah,
hate.
but
I
they
mean,
don't hate
among
them. They
among
just-
their problems, among
Yeah.
the general
Well,
problem.
look at this new Pope Francis is inching them down the field.
Yeah, baby
He
steps.
really is.
Listen,
I'm sure they'll kill him.
compared
but,
compared to like they did the other guy, like in the Godfather movie.
yeah,
That was based on the
yeah.
true story. Anybody that tries to
Well, but he's actually doing it because it's beginning to make
little
a
bit
business sense. So they're
he's-
realizing that he's going more to the pure essence of the word. Of
He's
the
got
word
some-
of Jesus.
Well, he's got some commie rhetoric.
I might show up for their show on Saturday night. What time is it?
I don't want you to show up, Ken.
I'll be here.
You gonna
Tell
wear some leather? Let me get
for
back
the
to
fetish
Saturday.
party, you mean?
A lot of things going
I don't
on
want to go to the
on
fetish
Saturday.
Assless pants.
thing. No fucking way.
Saturday.
Wow, George?
No,
San Francisco.
listen. You'd be the
I know,
safest
but I
guy.
was a top.
I would. What makes you think? What makes you think that I would touch you or go anywhere near you at a fetish party or any other kind of party? Kent Wallace.
Yeah, have you worked on the Bluebird special?
I wouldn't let you hold my cigar for fear you might gob it. You gobber.
Well, it is almost Thanksgiving.
Stay away from here. I want to talk about Saturday. We've got a lot of things going on Saturday. Notice I printed the new schedule up over here.
Nice,
Not only
different colors.
we have a replay of the spot for some reason. I don't know why I put that on there.
Appreciate
because
that.
we can't say
popular show.
on Saturday. I just decided that we can't have the N-word enough times, both spoken and sung
Yeah.
on Saturday.
Mainly
So I'm
sung.
trying to stack it up.
Is that what they
I was
do on
going to
the
ask you.
spot all the time?
Mainly
Just,
singing.
and just a lot of N-word. I don't know, like, because I wanted to break it up. I could have put the spot right up against the Florida room. Okay, where
That's
where we say the N-word a lot on that show too.
Oh,
Right.
we do.
Yeah.
Sure, the Florida room hosted. Does he use it? Well, I don't even know because I'm afraid to ask. Everybody's got a fake name now. So what name does he use on his show?
He goes by the name of your boy AB.
Your boy AB.
Yeah.
Excellent.
like
See.
it.
By the way, I did karaoke the other night.
Uh-huh.
Now there was already a George there.
Okay.
That's the only opportunity that I needed.
Uh-huh.
There was already a George there, so they call you up and they go, "Oh, there's already a George. I can't, not George R or George number 2. If I'm gonna as well use my rapper name,
Fatty Meats.
and that's what they called me up. We got Fatty Meats, and she spelled it right.
Wow.
And so so now originally that was just my rapper name. So now that's just my karaoke name. Fatty Meats now. See, it all takes takes time. And my producer name and general gangster name.
Okay.
Not gangsta name because that would be Fatty Meats. Fatty
Right.
Meats is a gangsta rapper.
Right.
I should have brought that Screw magazine.
24/7. You should have.
It was the black issue with the black Uncle Sam, and I wrote an article, and my name was Mofo, and that was in the year 2000.
I got 3.
Mofo.
That's ironic. That's the first thing that came up to mind when you said that.
2000,
You
14
mofo.
years ago.
You mofo.
Al
Mofo.
Goldstein, rest in peace.
Big Al.
He dedicated 3 fuck yous to me in
I
the
know.
Screw magazines. I feel so honored.
That's huge.
And twice on his cable show, Midnight Blue.
Didn't you see my Facebook post last week with Vanessa Del Rio and Al in India?
Yes.
No, you
Yes,
didn't.
what a great guy. No, I'm just pretending. I'm just a dirty liar. Let me get back to Saturday.
Yeah.
After we say the N-word a whole bunch of times on the Florida room, we've got inoculative expressions followed by the SoFlo Music Show. The SoFlo Music Show, local artists, both of those things. Then a replay, the Gnarly Charlie Totally Awesome Retro Party. But then we're going to interrupt that stuff because it's 6 o'clock. We've got a remote at Beer Fest, and you're not invited. You'll have to pay like every other schlepper. Beer Fest, the New Times Beer Fest from Esplanade Park in downtown Fort Lauderdale. It goes on from 6 till 10 or 11 like that. We'll be broadcasting live from 6 until 7:30.
No
and
kidding.
then it's Strikers game.
Yep.
Right? This Saturday.
This
Are we
Saturday.
broadcasting that? Is that a remote? Is that a thing?
We're broadcasting it.
Okay.
Matter of fact, Bruce is texting me right now for I have no read.
Okay.
That is
Understanding
cool.
as
The
well.
Strikers game goes on until 10 o'clock, and then
And then
When did the religious people?
the premiere at 10 o'clock.
Oh, at 10?
The premiere of the
So they are aiming for the
Kingdom of God hour,
the
Exactly.
demonics,
which is
the
deceptive.
late night crowd. They're looking for them.
The Kingdom of God hour is actually about an hour and a half, possibly 2 hours.
Catch
it really
'em
just
before
depends on how
Sunday.
many prayer requests they have coming
No,
in.
people will be calling in.
And not only that, but Tequila Nightclub, 2 floors down, is booming. And I mean boom, boom, booming.
Oh, yeah.
Around that time.
Oh, this
yeah.
will be a battle.
So
This
what a
will be
rich
awesome.
tapestry of excitement we're going to have here on SoFlo Radio. And
I am proud of you, George.
thank you.
I really am. I think that's awesome.
We sought to be an all-inclusive radio station.
As well you
we
should.
sought to be a place where all of the different
And
kinds
it's
of
not
people.
the only letter in the alphabet.
No, we
Jack
use
Frost.
we use all.
It's the only one that
forms of
matters.
vulgarity.
This is a family show here. God damn it, we don't. We try to keep it clean.
Yeah, we talk about all type of shit.
Yeah. Children might be listening to this, and I don't care if they say shit, but I don't want them using the N-word.
Yeah.
There
long as they don't do it in their
are
pants.
words that
But the N-word, see, this is what okay.
So
I'm not
funny.
going to
This
say
is
it.
no,
It
because
sounds bad in
there's
my
two
ear.
N-words that piss
tastes,
off people.
It tastes
It's so
bad
funny
in my
when you
mouth.
guys say N-word.
Like the C
nigger
word.
pisses off black people. They're very
It pisses me
proprietary
off.
about it.
I don't like the
Jews
sound of it.
Don't like the word Nazi. If you use Nazi,
That's not true.
No, you call someone a Nazi. That guy, that politician is like a Nazi, and then the Jews get, oh no, you don't know
I
from
don't know.
Nazi. No, the two N words, nigger, Nazi.
I think you
Jews
just
and the
wanted to-
blacks, they both think that it's all about them. They own it, and
So
I
is
think it's time for everybody
Kent
to
Wallace
move on
talking,
to the
ladies
rest
and
of the
gentlemen.
freaking alphabet. I'm sorry.
I think Kent just wanted a reason just to say nigga.
I also don't like the C word. It just
hell
I
do
don't
I
like the way it sounds. I don't like the
Commie?
way it sounds in my ear. I don't like the way it tastes.
Cockspur, you got
in
an
my mouth.
advertisement for it right
Cockspur.
here.
We got look
Commie?
and cock soup up on the shelf over there, Kent.
You got cock soup, so what's
You
your problem
can't-
with the C's now?
You can't have my cock soup. It's mine. All right.
Thank
I'm
God.
totally. And by the way, the bag is coming open, so
Oh,
there's
God.
cock soup mix everywhere in the studio over here. The
Now
studio is
we know
going
how the
to
Ebola
smell
got
of
out.
cock soup.
Cock
Speak-
soup excrement.
That, by the way, I just want to
just
keep
think
an
that
keep an eye on the
words are
screen over here.
words At the
I
end
am.
of the day, I don't
Okay, because I don't want to
give a
miss
rat's ass.
miss the phone call from Brett. Speaking of fragrances, I had to do some research, Kent.
Yes.
Something was you ever have a burning question in your life? You have because I'm a
Yes,
curiosity
of course.
kind of
I
guy.
do that all the time. I get
Philosophical
those- yeah.
science. I really
You get to research
and
it. I like
and I really needed to know why asparagus makes my piss smell like that.
Yeah.
Like the actual.
So, do you know?
I looked it up. Ask me about asparagus.
Well, you're not supposed to. Never mind. You're supposed to
That's a-
actually eat
that's a-
it,
that's a-
not insert
that's
it.
a
That's
prompt.
one of your problems.
What do you know
George.
Don't
about
tell me.
asparagus?
Don't tell me how.
You insert your.
Don't tell me
asparagus.
how to enjoy my asparagus. What? Why did that spear tip? That soft, supple spear tip. Don't you tell me how to enjoy my asparagus sprout, Kent Wallace. Especially considering your background, you hypocrite.
Yes, I am.
I bet you asparagus.
hip.
Listen,
And I'm a crip.
I'm sure asparagus is not the strangest thing you've had inside of you. So what? Don't point your judgmental finger at me. Allow
Probably
me
right about that.
to enjoy asparagus
probably.
in my
Quite
way.
sure.
All right. When I buy the asparagus, what I do with that asparagus is between me, the asparagus, and God.
Well, then,
God damn
okay.
it!
Well,
Uranus.
All right. So anyway, asparagus.
So
And this
what
is
does
very
it smell?
fascinating. Asparagus. First of all, let me lead into this slowly. You know, asparagus is incredibly healthy for you.
Duh.
It's the liver of vegetables. It has more complex chemicals and antioxidants in it per ounce than any other vegetable. You'd think it was spinach or broccoli or something like that. Asparagus reigns supreme as far as the number of nutrients and the highest concentrations of these nutrients. There's really nothing else like it.
I love it.
Among the uniqueness, and I'm going to look it up because I want to say these chemicals correctly. I looked it up. I bookmarked it. I've been practicing. Look, I practiced over here.
Chemistry.
Asparagusic acid. This is what asparagus has.
Oh, it's got its own acid.
It's got an amino acid
Yeah.
called. It's got its own name because it doesn't exist in any other vegetable. Even related vegetables in the same family don't have asparagusic acid. And there's the molecule right there that shows what it is. Now, as we digest asparagus, and it happens immediately as soon as it hits our stomach acid, our stomach breaks asparagusic acid down right away. That's why you don't have to actually digest the asparagus before. That's like the very next piss you take. Have you noticed that?
Oh no, I know it's
The very next,
extraordinary.
you eat asparagus, and 10 minutes later, you're pissing that
Odor.
fragrance, that
Yes.
odor that is for me.
Olfactory.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it good or bad. It's just odd.
It's potent.
Yeah, it is potent. Well, apparently, asparagusic acid is loaded with sulfur. See the S there?
Well, it
There's
says
a
acid.
lot of sulfur.
Sulfur.
There are lots of acid that don't. There's different kinds of acid. Not all acid is sulfuric, if you will.
Sulfuric
There's
acid.
hydrochloric acid.
So it's burning that
There's
crap out of you.
acetic acid. There's all kinds of things.
There's acidic acid.
There's
What are you
acidic
talking
acid.
about? Now
Oi!
he's talking about the people.
Yeah.
Oy vey.
Yeah, it's good, but you have to take
Just
2
don't
hits.
call me a Nazi.
Acidic acid. Methanolol. How do you like that? I can't even say it. Methanethiol is one of them. All right. dimethyl sulfide, dimethyl sulfoxide, and dimethyl sulfone.
So
And even dimethyl disulfide.
It's
All of these, it
cell
breaks
phone?
it down into 4 different chemicals, all of which contain sulfur, and all of which are gaseous at room temperature.
Well, that makes sense.
Now, so when you pee, it's a liquid inside your body. But as soon as you pee, if it's room temperature, and of course your pee is more than room temperature, that's why it immediately releases from the urine in gaseous form
does it
and
affect the
fills
fart?
and fills the air. Do you get asparagus farts? Because that's
Well, I'm wondering now. We need to
I don't
find out.
know. And by the way, because
you should know.
it
You just
comes
said
out,
you
it
insert
comes
it
out
instead of
it comes out,
eating
I didn't tell you where I insert it.
That's true.
Okay. So there's
Well, at the fetish party, could you try it for the
there's
sake of
that
science?
and nothing else there. That's your science minute. I'm going to have a special show open for your science moment over here on SoFloRadio.com, and I'll explain
Asparagus.
a scientific principle to you. Like lately, because they actually came out with a movie, and the news stories were a while back about the super collider. Remember, people were freaking out saying they're going to destroy the world. They're going to open up a black hole that's going to destroy the world with the super collider that they were doing in Europe. Remember those stories, or were you too drunk to realize that?
Collider.
To describe the Higgs boson, which they did. They eventually
remember
discovered
that.
the Higgs boson. So because I got A's in physics and did term papers on black holes and Einstein, I had to explain that.
He looks right at you. You notice that? I noticed that.
I didn't.
I hope the people on the freaking cameras saw that too.
What?
What?
Of course I'm going to look right
You
at
say
you.
black hole and you stare right at freaking
I
Jack
did
Frost.
not
Yes,
even.
you
He's
did.
on the other side of
Replay.
the
I want to
microphone.
go to camera. I'm throwing the red flag.
Why are you? Why would you accuse me of referring to Jack as a hole?
I saw it. I saw it.
Hole? Yeah, it doesn't really correlate.
No,
Doesn't even make sense.
No.
he's not a hole.
Okay.
How do you like Jack as a whole? Because I wasn't regarding him as that until you mentioned
Are we
it.
having
No,
wings tonight?
He's not
by
bad
the
as a
way?
whole.
Just out of
What, chicken
curiosity.
wings?
You never go over there anymore, do you?
I
Do you have a
can't
bad experience?
No, I'm burnt out.
You used to go there a lot.
feel envious of me tonight, Kent. I can't go to the wings because I'm going to a Halloween party.
You always get to go places
Yeah,
now.
but you're gonna love this because drunkard that you are, and,
Yes.
and I'm right there with you after my own heart. I try to be a responsible drunk. I try to not get busted.
Yeah. No, that's
So
responsible.
I have a designated driver tonight for this
Wow.
Halloween party that I'm going to, and I'm going to assemble. I'm going to be very busy. I have to assemble the rest of my costume tonight. You might ask what I'm going as.
Early to Halloween.
You might ask you to take a
I
setup.
wonder what he's going as.
It's an original character that I created called Skeleton. This is how original it is. Skeleton mask, skeleton suit,
Right.
skeleton gloves.
what's the ton part?
I've got a walking stick because I don't want to say skeleton. So it's
I thought
skeleton.
there would be some lit up
Skeleton.
thing
No,
or
it's
something like that.
skeleton is a cliche skeletal costumed character
I
that
see,
goes to
okay.
parties and drinks. My skeleton mask is open underneath so that I can drink and eat
Well, you
unencumbered because I'm experienced. You go to these parties with a lot of makeup
you're
or a crazy
screwed.
mask, and what you got to drink through a straw, and what happens when they bring out the hors d'oeuvres? Then you're fucked. So
Forget it.
I only have a half mask. Might put some paint on the lower part of my face to complete the skeleton image. But no, it's going to be skeleton, generic skeleton character. I've got a cane, a walking stick
Right.
with a light up skull on
Well,
top.
there's the Tron part.
And there it is. It's not Skeletron.
Skeleton.
Skeleton.
Ton.
Skeleton.
Ton.
Cliche
Still sounds kinda like,
cliche skeletal character from the
modern in a way.
dimension of skeletons.
I
And when
got
we're
it.
talking about that, because I want to promote a lot of things going on Saturday. Not going to be on SoFlo Radio, but we've been promoting it very heavily because it's the product of one of our show hosts, a Rick Santese, yes, who does a show on
And that's
Thursday
his
here.
party tonight?
Rick's show on the radio, which is
Saturday?
about filmmakers, musicians,
all
and so. Look at this. Look at this nice and slick
Theater
flyer
Vampire.
that he produced, Theater of Vampires. A lot has gone into this, and we've been promoting it all week long for 2-3 weeks here on SoFlo Radio on Rick's show. It's at 7 p.m. at Cinema Paradiso
full
Art
bar.
House in Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, they have a full bar. The good stuff too. They got
Says free
They
parking
got
and a
doers.
full bar. I think I'll park myself at the bar. Jack Frost.
There you go.
Boom-ba, where's that rim shot when we need it? Cinema Paradiso is at 503 Southeast 6th Street, downtown Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale?
The tickets are available
My bad.
at www.theaterofvampires.com. Free parking, full bar. It's a transmedia event. That means everyone's in drag. That joke's going to get old one of these days.
Yeah.
It's not. They have live musical performances. They put things on the screen like videos and short films and things. And it's going to be the trial of Lestat. They're having a trial, so they're going to have Lestat. They're going to have Nosferatu. Dracula will be there.
Oh wow.
And you know, the queen of the vampires is going to be there.
So it's
some
gonna be
beautiful
like
women are going to be dressed up like
the Devil and Daniel Webster.
like
They're going to
vamp
act it out.
scamps. It's going
Like
to be
a trial, like the Devil and
it's
Daniel
a play
Webster.
with music.
I like that. Did you ever?
It's
see
going to have
Devil and Daniel Webster?
musical interludes. I think
It's a
this is
goodie.
the call that we've been waiting for. Hello, SoFlo Radio. Turn that radio off. Hello, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
I wanted to get some information
We don't have any here. What is it about? Science or God?
about God.
Okay, yeah, we have all your
tons of
information
that.
about God. Ask me anything.
Okay, I wanted to do a talk radio show. I want to preach Christ crucified. Would you have any room for me?
Sure. We'll make
in
room.
evening?
We charge by the
You have
hour,
to
though.
bring your own cross and nails, though.
We charge by the hour.
Yeah, all right. How much is that?
Huh?
How much is it by the hour?
$1,000 an hour.
Oh, he's lying.
Oh well, we can haggle, but it starts
Is this
there.
Johnny Carson
You
show
can
or-
haggle on the steps of the temple.
You did want to call and be on the air, right?
Yeah,
It's part of our First Amendment policy over here is that we don't pre-screen our callers
No,
here. We just
no.
let you right on. It's like sex without a rubber.
So,
we
but
don't
he
care.
wants to do a show there, George.
Absolutely.
Doesn't he have a right to get in the queue?
Listen,
with
we already
everyone
have
else?
a Christian radio show. Would you consider doing a show dedicated to Chango and the other Vodun gods of Santeria and Voodoo? Because Chango answers prayers,
I know
especially
they're doctors.
But he might have a different take on the Christian thing than the other Christian guys. The
well-
Christians don't all get along.
they don't.
Those are my friends.
Oh, those are your friends? Oh, you're trying to do a spin-off
Yeah.
series?
Who's your friend? The Santeros?
No, the guy's doing the other show.
I don't.
I've been trying to find him on a computer. I'm not too savvy with the computer.
Who are you trying to find?
You calling
Who are you trying to find?
Kino?
Chango or Jesus?
What are you saying?
Jesus.
Oh, okay. Well, you just Jesus.com or you just Google Jesus. He's right there.
Uh-huh. All right.
All right. I don't. And by the way, I don't
My
believe.
phone's not too clear.
Oh, okay.
But I understand you're kidding around, and you guys sound like
Yes.
a lot of fun.
We are a lot of fun. We're doing a live radio
Am
show
I
right
on
now.
the
So
air? Am I on the air right now?
yeah, you're on
Yes,
the air
you
right now.
are.
So this is the call-in number that you called there. So that's what happens when you call the call-in number. We put you right on the air.
Oh, that's
we don't
the
care.
number somebody gave me.
Yeah, to call on the radio show,
Another
right?
girl. Yeah, you know your little flyer, the card you hand out.
Yes.
Well, I called that real tiny number on the bottom right.
And then what
The
happened?
card
This.
said, I have this number.
This is how
See?
this is how we ambush people. We've built a whole career out of ambushing people on the radio.
You
show.
rub the bottle, and a genie that you can hardly imagine fit into it comes out.
Okay, well, listen, I'm on the air.
Yeah,
Don't
yes,
do
you
it.
are on the air.
It's Jesus who died on the cross for all of us.
All right. Well, that's your first show. That'll cost $150.
You know what? If it'll save one person, it's worth it.
Oh, you got it. Right on.
Well, God bless you.
Hallelujah to that.
Please
Amen too.
listen. Please keep handing the
I'd like
flyers
to get in
out.
touch with you guys to set up something.
Everybody, we'll talk business off the air. Listen, we have an email address, pr@soflowradio.com. It stands for Puerto Rican. pr@soflowradio.com, and we'll get to you. Somebody will get to you.
Okay, PR.com.
No, pr@soflowradio.com.
How's
Well,
that?
I'll give it a shot. I'll go on the internet, see if I can get in touch with
right.
you guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, bye.
Okay, he didn't know the comeback
It
at
just
all.
went right over his head.
I know, because we're very all inclusive here.
I know we are.
We'd love to have a Muslim mullah
Well,
preaching their
you know,
particular
with all
brand of
due respect to
misogyny.
the Jesus people, Jesus was all inclusive as well. I mean, that was the bottom
Well,
line.
this is this particular outfit,
So,
and we had
the people who have taken up his cause, as it were, are not quite as inclusive. But you can't, don't go knocking frickin' Jesus.
No, well, that because if anybody that's heard my shtick, I like to remind the Christians using the Bible and using Jesus' own words what it's supposed to be a Christians. But most of the people that I run into, and I call them unchristians,
They are
They
unchristian.
call themselves Christian.
They were
but then they go down the list point by
They're
point, and they represent
They're the
everything.
very same people that Jesus was rallying against, for goodness sakes.
Prove it.
You prove it.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get Brett
Okay,
on
get
the
some
phone here.
water in here. I'm walking on it.
Get some water. Oh,
Water.
Yeah. Sorry, you're supposed to fill the breach while I'm texting Brett Hubbard.
loaves
Try to
and bread.
try to
Loaves
get
and
him
bread.
on the air.
Loaves and
Well, you want anything else?
you get
up?
some wine.
You want anything else? Up?
Oh man, this is what we call
Probably
losing
gonna
control
be
of the
Ripple.
show. Are you people going to sit here and make sport of Jesus now?
No, I'm the guy who's trying to defend the guy.
Anyway, Kingdom of God Hour, 10 o'clock Saturday, the premiere show.
Cool.
And,
What else
I don't
we
know
got?
if that guy was sincere or not.
I think it
But
was sincere, to be honest with you.
I wanted back to how before we got started, deep in the shtick, before we got stuck in the shtick.
Stuck in the shtick.
I wanted SoFlo Radio to be all inclusive, and I want it to be representative. Like if an outsider were to listen to SoFlo Radio, they would be able to peer into South Florida and see all of the different kinds of people and things going on down here, because this community is diverse to say the least. And another way of saying that is that we're all over the place, man. If America is a melting pot, and we're a mishmash, man. We're a steaming cauldron of chaos here in South Florida. We're a roiling cauldron of multiculturalism, multi-religiousism. Every color, every belief, every group, every ethnicity is down here in America's bilge.
With that said, what are the other shows we got?
What are the shows we got? Well, we've got CEOmanship with Steve Gordon. That's on Mondays.
Oh, the race car driver.
Yep, Mondays 2 till 3 o'clock. Steve Gordon. He's the
race car driver.
There are a lot of Steve Gordons, and
Jeff
remember,
Gordon, you know about those.
never trust
frickin'
anybody with two
NASCAR
first names.
shit. I knew it. I knew it.
See, Jack has a question. Kent doesn't let me answer it. So let's just go on to. If you're not going to let me answer questions,
All right,
Kent
I'm
Wallace,
sorry. I just wanted to
just-
check out that Gordon thing.
Steve, that's Jeff Gordon that you're talking about, by the way. And
that's
if you
'cause
Google
he-
Steve Gordon, you'll see that there's a million Steve Gordons. Not a very unique name. It's like Jorge Rodriguez, not very well thought out.
Not really.
Mrs. Gordon says
what's your
Steve's mom
middle
should have
name?
thought it out. What's my middle name? Oh, you're not ready for my name.
Do you know?
You're not ready for my name in Spanish, buddy.
I forgot.
My middle name. There's no short answer
Jaime.
for what's your middle name. What does that tell you?
Really?
Yeah. Because you know that the naming system is different in
you got a lot of
Latin
hyphens in
culture.
it,
I've got
too.
my name. My actual name is a paragraph. Okay. Yeah. So when you come to America, and it was shortened considerably. If you want me to translate it into English, it's Humbert. Yeah, you weren't ready for that, were you? But you want my whole name in Spanish? You ready for this?
Humberto.
Yep.
Jorge Humberto Rodriguez Ruidías Bellón Quesada.
Wow.
Yeah, I know that's because there's only 5 Spanish last names, so you got to assign 2 last names and a middle name, and sometimes 2 middle names. Like my father has 2 middle names, and that way you're unique based on the combination of all these different names. America being a multicultural nation, you don't have that kind of overlapping all the time.
Well, you know what my name would be if I had taken on all of my wife's last names?
Oh,
It would
good
be
Lord.
Kent, Halpern, Haling, Pinheiro, Schwab, May, Huggins, Wallace.
Talk about a melting pot, or a huge melting pot of
going that way
of
with it,
people over there. So back to the answer to Jack's question, and I don't see Brad Hubbard trying to ring the phone over here, and he's gonna distract me. You're a horrible co-host, Kent Wallace.
What did I do?
You're supposed to fill the breach, not derail the radio show.
Well, then he takes off. Jack, the erstwhile sidekick, leaves.
Do you even know what that word means? Neil
I
used
really
to use that.
don't.
all the time.
But he played for bass for the Who. Duh.
John Erstweiler. There's one for Kent Wallace.
Hey,
One in a row.
I filled the breach.
Kent. So we have CEOmanship starring Steve Gordon.
Race
All right.
Driver. Yeah.
President, when you get your show on here, we're gonna rip you an ass. When's that gonna
I
happen? By
can't
the way,
wait.
you let me listen. People
I don't know. I'm gonna
want
just
to
have
have
to
their
raise
shows
my own
promoted,
money.
and you're not gonna let me get through it. You're
I'm
just
sorry,
not gonna
go
let me
ahead.
get through
No,
it.
do it.
It's Jeff Gordon, and I heard, is he the one that's gay?
No.
One of them is gay, and I thought it was Jeff Gordon. Steve Gordon, president and CEO of the Gordon Partnership Group, which is an international business consulting firm, and he does seminars, and he does CEO boot camp, and he does things like that. So you can find him with his show page there on SoFloRadio.com. Everything that I'm telling you right now, instead of having to remember everybody's individual websites, you just have to remember
Go to the homepage.
SoFloRadio.com, and you look for the box. It says it right there, CEOmanship with Steve Gordon, and there's a link to his website and also to his previous shows in his archives. And he does a show every Monday from Excuse me. These are asparagus burps.
I was gonna.
From 2 till 3. Then we have Silverman on sports, also on Monday, then followed by the powwow. On Tuesday, we have the Frank Fernandez show from 5 until 6. That's a sports show, followed by Owen Frank Noodles. Look at this. I'm just doing this from memory. The schedule's behind me. Owen Frank Noodles from 6 to 8. Those are 2 sports shows. Then on Wednesday, we have Siren Says from 1 till 3 o'clock.
What's that about?
The conversation really took a turn
sex show.
Right there towards the end
sex therapy
of
show.
Siren Sandra's second show. Say that 5 times fast. The conversation,
Siren
because she had a whole bunch of
second
brassy broads in the studio
Oh,
with
really?
her second show, and they started talking about penis, and boy, that's it. That the whole last 45 minutes of her show on Wednesday was all just penis talk. They were talking about size and shape and color and and
Color, really?
Because they're not always the same color as the person.
No, I'm aware of that.
Sometimes they're not a
I'm not aware of
they're
that.
not a consistent color. Well, if you were to
you're
listen to that
aware of
show,
that.
you
Too
would have heard more about penis than you ever wanted to know. Because sometimes they're multicolored. Did you know? And I'm not talking about like multi-ethnic.
I wouldn't know.
Like that would be a good excuse. They're talking.
Jack and I
they're
would
talking
know about this stuff.
Patterns. There's plaid. There's paisley. There's polka dots. There's all over the place.
Really, when you do go to those parties, I suspect if anyone.
I'm trying to tell you that this is the conversation that Siren had with her brassy broad friends on Siren Says, which is heard Wednesday from 1 to 3.
Cool.
Here on SoFloRadio.com. Then Wednesday, the new time for Larry the Amigo show. Wednesdays 6 to 8, and then at 9 o'clock we have the powwow again, the powwow edition, the Wednesday edition. Right. Now on Thursday, all right, we got a lot of things. We've got Randy. We got Randy's show, which is The Experiment, starring Randy Rocks. At least that's on hiatus right now because she's going to flight attendant school. She might fly away.
Oh, man.
And that's from 1 until 2. And then Rick. So I was talking about Rick's show on the radio. Rick Santese is doing this theater vampire thing. He has a show on from 4 till 5 o'clock. Then we have By the Glass from 6 until 7.
Right.
All right.
That's the
Hey,
bar show.
Thursday night, Mr. Christian Color who called in, you want to preach the word?
It's not a
Thursday
cigar show.
night, it's nice and open right there. Then
Thursday night's open.
Then we have SoFlo Ridays, which is this whole thing. Amazing
Yeah.
thing. By the way, and I just should mention, we have Nicole Sandler every weekday from 10 until 12. Right?
Really?
She's
Every
a,
day,
she's a
Nicole?
constant. She's constantly there, leading
a
into
staple.
the new thing. Most days it's Radio Dan out of Boca talking about movies and such. And on SoFlo Ridays, we have this show over here, the Kent Wallace Show, featuring Jorge Rodriguez and Jak Frost. Mm-hmm. Almost practically every Friday.
Yeah,
You're here at least once a month. And
Even
once
when
a
we don't
month.
want you.
Normally that's a good thing, and we'll get into that. We'll start the good stuff at some point. And then afterwards, we have the Sheep plays on hold right now because Alan, it's your smoking. Quit smoking, Alan.
What happened to
He
Alan?
just he has diverticulitis. Him and
That's
every other
one of the
lazy
things in the asparagus, I
cigarette
think.
smoking asparagus will avert it.
Oh, start eating asparagus, Alan.
Alan is one of these guys. He's going to die way sooner than he needs
gotta
to
stop
because
smoking.
the cigarettes and sitting on his ass. That's all it is. I told him you got to do yoga.
Yeah.
And to keep because you know what diverticulitis is. It's when your intestine blows a bubble because you're not passing the shit through there like you ought to. So you know what you need to do for that is you got to twist, buddy. You gotta do yoga. You gotta do the twist. You gotta twist your kiskis. You gotta run.
something.
You gotta shake that shit up, or it's
Gotta
not gonna
do it,
get.
Alan, for
it's
God's
got-
sakes.
Alan, the only time he moves is to smoke a cigarette or to buy some more Burger King food or
Well,
something.
cigarettes should stimulate sometimes.
No,
For me,
there's
stimulate a
no
little
good.
poopy
There's
action.
no good. You know
Crack
that
always made
no.
me poop.
Yeah, well,
I'll
that's
tell you that
different.
right
That's
now.
not cigarettes. Crack.
No, cigarettes used
crack
to
maybe-
kind of be like coffee. You know how coffee
Yeah,
sort of does
but
it?
no. But here's the problem. Cigarettes constrict your capillaries, so they
Oh, they do?
restrict the blood flow to everything. Like
That's not good. Alan.
You see, cigarette smokers sometimes they'll develop like the purple lips or purple feet or extremities and fingertips. Well, that
because
same thing
they're
is going on
capillaries.
inside you. The capillaries are constricting.
what do the
so
Montagues have
blood
to say about
isn't-
that?
Hey, our Shakespearean comedy.
you.
Thank you, Kent Wallace. You know the original story because it was set in Fair Verona,
God.
where the Montegli and Cappelletti. That was the
course,
original
they
names,
were Italians.
But they were Italian. But Shakespeare anglicized it for his English audience and named it Capulet and Montague. How do you like that?
I don't like
Meanwhile, back to Alan.
Capulet
So he
and
was
Montague.
walking around with a colostomy bag
Oh, my God.
and smoking cigarettes. And I'm like, this is talk about a recipe for disaster. I don't really understand how colostomy bags work, but this is what I'm thinking in my head. If you fart, does it go into your colostomy bag, and then you've got a bag of gas, and you light the cigarette? Yeah.
Methane.
Danger. I don't know. It's
downtown Hollywood.
It's not like asparagus acid. Are you giving your friends your friends
he
directions
asked
here?
if it's the Ramada in downtown or on the beach.
I try to tell everybody this. You hear the word Ramada, they go to the hotel. No. He said,
right, well, what do I call
They think, by the way, it's not the Ramada. The Ramada isn't on the beach anymore. The Hollywood Beach Resort
is. What the hell is this?
The Ramada Executive Center.
That's
you have
what this is
what
called?
you need to get through their heads, and I'm not talking about your friend in particular, is it's not the hotel.
I know that.
I know you know that. You're here. I know you know how to find your way here.
Fred found it with no problem.
Everybody understand this, Kent Wallace. Stop talking for just 30 seconds. Sorry. They hear the word Ramada, they go to the hotel. It doesn't matter how many times you tell them Ramada Executive Center. You have to actually say the words, not the fucking hotel. Not the hotel. The Ramada Executive Center on Hollywood Boulevard. Here's what happens in their head. I'm telling you this. Listen to this. They hear you're saying the following sentence: the Ramada Executive Center on Hollywood Boulevard, and they hear the Ramada Hotel.
Well, if they go on Hollywood Boulevard, there's only one way in, and you see the
but
stage.
They're not. They're not going to Hollywood Boulevard. They hear the word Ramada. They go to Harrison. Their brain checks out as soon as they hear the word Ramada.
But you said Hollywood Boulevard.
They don't hear that. They don't hear those words. They hear Ramada. They go over there.
All right, let's see if he shows up.
Let's see if he shows up.
Over under.
I got $1 even. That he goes there first.
I say he does, and I say come straight here.
Hey, I'm at 309, but it looks like a hotel room.
That room, they have a room 309 over there.
I know we've talked about. Remember?
Oh, can you? Oh,
you got to do a remote from 309.
I want to do this. I want to permanently rent that room. All right, and that'll be like our room, our SoFlo Radio room. You can keep equipment in there and storage in there. Yeah. But during showtime, when a show is booked and we know that somebody's going to be going to the wrong place, that place, we have something different set up every time, so that when the door opens, there's like a giant fat man in a diaper with like a dead woman in the bed, and he's holding a butcher knife, and he opens the door and goes, "Can I help you?" Something like that. Yeah. The next time they open the door, it's like there's a luau going in there with a Polynesian fire dancer. That's cool. You see, the next time they open it up,
or a senior citizen porno, or something.
Senior citizen, a whole bunch of naked old people. Every time somebody goes to the wrong room, it'll be this running gag: room 309, the room of mystery.
You just made it.
Oh, you mean? And then of course, after the person's, after shock, and we take a picture of their shocked look on their face. Then they go, if you're looking for the Jorge Rodriguez show or whatever, you're looking for 309 in the Ramada Executive Center. You go through that doorway.
Been 309.
Yeah, and we just have this running gag all the time. I go, "Excuse me, I was coming to be on a radio show," and the person goes, "Oh, you're in the right place. Come on in."
Hey,
the guy with the leather mask and the bloody knife hanging off his hand. Oh, come right in. Yes, that's right. This is the right place. Come on in. Because that they do rent that room.
We were expecting you.
And whoever's renting that room is living in a life of hell. They should make that room discounted. Like when someone comes to the desk and they go, "Oh, we only have one room left, but it's 309." And they go, "What's wrong with 309? Is it haunted?" And the person at the desk goes, "No, worse than that." You're going to have people knocking on that door every half hour wanting to be on the radio.
That's funny.
You're not going to be able to get any sleep there. Everybody's knocking on room 309 at the Ramada. You know what? And here's the problem. Because, we talk about names and naming, and I hate my name. Names of businesses. Like, remember AIDS Candy? Make a note to put that on a debt. You don't remember that? It was AIDS Diet Candy. Before the disease,
give you a
that was their name, and they released a statement. We spend a lot of money on branding, and we're not going to change the name of our candy just because you people decided to name a disease that same thing, and then they went out of business.
There you go. This is people stuff.
Well, I wasn't talking about you people this time.
Oh, okay.
I was talking about those people.
Okay.
So naming, just because these two buildings are owned by the same outfit, doesn't mean that they should have the same name. It confuses people to no end.
No, it's true.
This place used to be called the Arcade, and what's wrong with that? Have a sign out front, beautiful, a sign out in front of the building that says the Hollywood Arcade, and then when we give people directions to our business, we say it's in the Hollywood Arcade building. They go, "Oh, okay, we know where that place is. It's right there. It's the little mini mall and the stairs and everything. No problem." Ramada has established itself in the minds of people as being a hotel,
right.
and that's way more powerful than
that's
whatever
their brand. I mean,
whatever directions and instructions that we give people bounce off of that. Just bounce right off of that branding bubble that people have in their head. There's no chance.
Be a meshing of the two. The arcade at the Ramada.
No, can't use the word Ramada. They'll go there. That's the Ramada. That's only the Ramada, and only that is the Ramada. And it doesn't matter what you say. Wah, 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 wah. People don't hear it.
But you got a big neon sign that says arcade.
Oh yeah, no, this is the arcade. It can't have the word Ramada.
It could be
anywhere near it.
Arcade with the R in front of it.
The arcade. R-hyphen-cade.
There you
I
go.
love it.
Once again,
Kent Wallace, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell me I don't know how to freaking preach. I can preach.
2-in-1 radio show. And that's let's end on a high note because it's 1 o'clock. So why don't we break away and just run to the bathroom over here? 1 o'clock on all Arcade Radio, SoFloRadio.com.
By the Glass.
By the Glass is a show about beverage culture.
Brad Hubbard.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to connect the dots on how everything works together. It's really all about how we enjoy things, how we enjoy life, and how beverages play a big part in that. I'm going to bring in people that are going to display their aspect of the culture. I'm going to bring in people that are going to show you different products. We're going to look at places where people go to consume these beverages and how they all interact. Things are built around the actual beverage itself.
By the Glass. Thursdays from 6 to 7. Only on SoFloRadio.com.
That is great radio.
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now. 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
Return the favor. Return the favor. Return the favor. Return the favor. Return the favor with their debut release, Picture This. Featuring You Have My Attention. Go to facebook.com/Return the Favor. Picture This. Return the Favor. Available on iTunes.
CBC5 is the executive liaison for all your building compliance needs. Serving South Florida from the Palm Beaches to Key West, CBC5 delivers 5-star service that brings...
what's this ABC or BDQ or whatever?
CBC5. It stands for Complete Building Compliance.
Oh, I ain't building nothing, so what can they do for me?
Well, they do more than plan review and permitting. They help the little guy cut through red tape.
I got duct tape holding together my carport.
Well, CBC5 can help. Let them deal with bureaucrats. They helped Jorge Rodriguez solve a sewer lateral problem, and they saved him a ton of money and hassles.
Fight City Hall, who can do that?
CBC5 can do that. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a commercial to finish. Contact Shoddy the Hottie at CBC5 786-255-3851 or log on to cbc5.net. That's cbc5.net.
107 SoFloRadio.com, the Jorge Rodriguez Show,
Yay.
featuring Kent Wallace.
Hello.
Jak Frost. That's one Jak Frost from The Spot.
Yes.
Tune into The Spot this evening, tonight, part of SoFlo Fridays at 7 o'clock.
Yes.
Where we hear all of the... This is your very up-to-date hip-hop show featuring local and non-local.
Right.
Hip-hop stuff. If you want to put your pulse,
Actually,
your finger on the
not-
pulse of...
it's not up to date.
It's not up to date?
This is the first of this is the first contemporary hip hop station. There isn't a Hot 105 for the type of music that I
Well,
grew up on.
that's what I mean by up to date. They're not. We are. You are.
Right.
No. Which is funny because, well, I guess normally that would be taken care of by pirate radio. The pirate radio stations are famous for playing the cutting edge hip hop.
Well, this is the next level. It's
The pirate
internet.
radio is redundant. We don't have to be pirates
Right.
anymore. We can do it very legally. Play the freshest hippity hoppity music, and
With
you
a
don't have
crisp
to.
sound.
Yeah, very nice crisp sound, digital quality, worldwide, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Kent Wallace, who any minute now is going to have a radio show. I can't wait to be the producer of your radio
I
show,
know.
and
I
so
gotta
that
really-
so that I can interrupt you and derail you on the way to a point. That's my dream,
Constantly.
Kent Wallace.
I
I
know.
want to dream that. By the way, speaking of my dream, because I thought you're such a degenerate. Both of us are. I don't know. You've heard of, I'm sure, because you've been you've been around the block and then some.
then
You've been
some.
around several blocks. You're
have.
a blockhead, you might say. That I don't know. You're familiar with the drinking game. Somebody says, "I've never something," and then they say something. Okay, and if you haven't either, you don't have to take a drink. But if you have, you do have to take a drink. You understand? Like
No, I get it, but I don't
I've
play
never buried
drinking games.
I've never buried a dead body, and if you have buried a dead body, you have to take a drink.
Yeah.
You understand like that?
I get the premise.
If we played that game, we would be drunk within 5 minutes because there are a few things that neither one of us
haven't done.
have never done. And somebody said, I've never killed someone and
Well,
then
no. Oh, so
drove
you-
off to clean my car in the car wash later on. It's like, well, I have.
Oh, I
It's
see.
like,
Right then you'd
yeah,
have to
because
drink.
between the two of us, I think we've probably got every degenerate thing covered.
Yeah.
That people could possibly. And that's just the shit we remember. Yeah, I know. just think of what was stored in the brain cells we blew out.
Thank God we blew
What
them
kind of
out.
knowledge? Probably, yeah. it's just as well.
They can't testify against it.
Because I sleep. Do you sleep? Do you sleep well, Kent Wallace?
I do.
I do.
I sleep with both eyes closed. I got no.
Wonderfully.
I sleep.
You know why? And I can sleep way better than I have because there isn't this this fat lardo in bed shaking the bed continuously at night.
Is that
Who would you
Adam
be
guy?
speaking
That
of,
Allen
George?
guy?
No, my ex-wife.
Oh, I thought it was the Allen guy.
Nah.
No, if she turned over, it was like an earthquake. She'd bounce you right out of the bed, and then of course there was the snoring, the incessant snoring, just all night long. She snored like a drunken sailor, and cussed like one too, and had sex with indiscriminately like one too. Matter of fact, maybe she was a drunken sailor. I don't think I ever saw her on a sailboat, but other than that, yeah.
Well, she'd sink a sailboat.
Yeah, she would sink a sailboat.
Larger.
But the bed was, it was a horrible thing because when someone like that, is in bed with you, they create an incline. In the bed there, so you're constantly rolling
Towards
there,
them.
and then of course when she moves, she knocks you out of the way. It's like an earthquake in the bed there, and the incessant snoring. Now my bedroom is quiet. It's just really quiet. Nothing. You know what my alarm clock is? There's a roach coach because I live over here in the ghetto in a mixed street. No, not mixed the way that you think. Although that too, Jack, we have Filipinos. If you're wondering,
but
it's
you're diversifying.
It's zoned for business. So there are like down the block a ways. There are these warehouses where the people do. I don't know. I think illegal. I think they take stolen merchandise and ship it. Put it in shipping containers, and that's what's going on there. Anyway, they have a lot of people.
Chop shops.
Things like that, fencing operations.
The comic will probably know.
Sure, like we can ask him. So every morning, like clockwork, 7:15, the roach coach comes down the block, and as he's approaching that location, yeah, he does. As it's passing, my apartment there. My palatial penthouse apartment. So I hear that, and it's a very subtle, and it's off in the distance. But that's my rooster.
Yeah,
that's my my morning
that's
alarm
cool.
clock. Yeah, and that's the first sound I hear.
I
Unless
have
there's
the
a murder, and I hear the blood curdling screams of a murder in progress.
I hear the train at there's one around 5 a.m. That I hear that.
Here's the thing.
Can you do a train sound?
Where Why? We have a train. We might have a train in
That
here.
wasn't really a train.
That was a weak
That sound
train.
like a Volkswagen.
Very, very weak. We have to play Soul Train. Play TSOP. At least everyone identifies that. Everyone sees a train when they hear that song. I have the train within earshot of my apartment too, but the way it's laid out, like if I'm in my living room area, the window is facing the track, so I get the train sound while in there. But my bedroom is, on the other side of the hall there, but you can feel it. I can actually feel the vibrations.
I love that.
That's awesome. And normally I would have to stick a quarter into a motel room bed to get that kind of an effect.
Or get back with your old wife.
Oh yeah. That wasn't a train. That was a train wreck. Every night, about 5 to 10 minutes, she'd roll over. There was no way that anybody could sleep through the night there with that fat bed hog. Hoot hoot. By the way,
I love that.
this is only one of 2 Soul Train themes.
Yeah.
You understand?
That's a good thing.
I would like the other one. I need the bookends. I need both Soul Train themes. This is like the end credits Soul Train theme. I need the
With the opening.
It's Soul Train. That one. We need
That's
to find.
where I learned to dance.
I need to find that.
I learned how to
You
dance
too?
watching Soul Train. Yep.
One of these days.
Gloria and
By
Linda
the way-
Berry, they were sisters, and they taught me. The first time they finally said, "Wallace, get up here on the couch," because we danced on the couch, and the song was Nathan Jones by the Supremes. And that's how, when they just said it, you're just always staring at us, and now you're getting up on stage, or up on the couch, and you're going to dance.
So how bad was the dancing?
Oh, listen, I'm one of the great dancers of all time now.
Okay.
Because
I
of
believe
Glory and
Linda
Berry.
Anybody who was raised on Soul
Hill,
Train,
Linda Hill.
we were way ahead of the curve. So I want you to know, because I don't take what you say, idly. I consider carefully everything that you say, Kent Wallace. Sage, wizened old sage that you are.
Thank you.
The last time that I was at a rave-like event, I suggested, I presented your suggestion to the group, and it was well received.
Really?
Early Bird Raves.
Really?
Yes.
How cool is that?
Apparently, there are other people that can't quite hang late into the night. They're a little bit older. They've got families. They got to get up the next day. They don't want to stop raving, but they just can't start partying at midnight and go until 4, 6, 8 in the morning. and so the seeds have been planted for the
I'll be there for the
early
debut.
bird rave movement, and I've got it worked out. See, the plan right now in chalk and in pencil is the same amount of effort going into the same kind of an event, but you just set up way earlier and you kind of do 2 sessions. Like you have 2 shows.
Yeah.
One that starts at 4 o'clock.
Like a double header.
And right, exactly, and starts winding down around 8, and then by 10 o'clock, you mop up between 8 and 10. You kind of mop up, pick up the drinks, and get ready for phase 2. You kind of reload, reset, and then start it all over again.
Hopefully, they're not picking up bodies
at phase 10. Well, what do you mean? Hopefully, they're not. It's not a
those were
party unless
couches.
they are. It's not a party unless somebody's passed out and you're hauling somebody away, or the paramedics have to be called.
No.
What kind of a party
You
is
don't
that?
even call
What the hell
them.
is that?
You don't even call them. You keep them on standby.
I'll tell you. The
Right at the front door.
the early bird raves. I went to Terror Vision last weekend. It was a lot of fun. I shout out to Tony, my friend Tony Colombo, and I went out there. Tony Colombo.
Haven't heard from Tony in a minute.
But Tony's a good guy. And we went there, and it's getting not just the late night part. The late night part didn't bother us, and I knew it's all Tony's fault that it fell apart. Like I told you about the thing that I've got going on with Murphy of Murphy's Law, that he's following me around everywhere, just waiting for an opportunity.
Right.
So I'm very careful not to create a Murphy opportunity. But the people around me, they don't see that evil imp sitting there waiting for something. So we're having a great time. We're at Terror Vision. It's Hypnotic Productions. Danny, DJ Ecstasy, Kenny, DJ Special K are there. Those pictures that you saw me hanging with the people. And thank goodness that I'm there with the crew. So I get to be, behind stage, side stage, and in the VIP section.
Right.
Because outside of that section, it was all teenagers in their underwear, and I was going to feel a little skeevy just even being in there amongst the crowd.
Yeah.
I mean, there were girls with their have you seen the new? And I love this new fashion. The tank tops that are way open on the side. You know,
Oh, yeah, so you get the side boob
the
thing
side
going?
boob thing, and the side
I
bra
like that.
usually. But there were girls there, and they weren't wearing any bras at all. And I wanted to stick forks in my eyes. And I'm going to go to jail. Just listen. It was an 18 and over party. So at least I could feel
then
legal.
you're all right.
My thoughts were
18.
legal, but I got a 26-year-old daughter. I was feeling skeevy. You're an old man with a young daughter.
I am.
You see someone that looks like you looking at your daughter, and you're like,
No, you're not really
you
pleased with it.
skeevy old creep, get out of here. Go home to your computer like
No,
every
it's
other
true.
skeevy old creep.
It's
And I didn't. Perception is important to me. I know that I'm not an old creep. I don't want to look like one.
Right.
And I've got a good reason for being there. I actually like the music. Right. I'm friends with these DJs. I'm friends with the people putting on the show. I'm friends with the dancing girls, the ones on the stage I'm talking about.
Right.
You know, we're Facebook friends at the very least, or on a first-name basis.
You have an excuse.
I have an excuse.
You got an
And I
alibi.
do actually enjoy the music, and I like getting fucked up. I was asked by one of the kids once at one of these things, how long you been doing this? And I go, what? Getting fucked up and going to a live music event? Since I was your age, since I was a teenager. I mean, the music changes, but the routine is the
Right,
same.
the same thing.
You go to where they're playing the live music, you get fucked up, and you lose yourself in the moment.
Yeah.
I didn't get tired of that.
No.
Just because my ex kind of put my life
You just
on hold
didn't
for
need
a while.
a fake ID at one point. That's all.
Right. Exactly. Oh man.
Basically, the only difference.
So
Exactly.
Now you're legit.
so for more than
have
just
to
the
ask the other
schedule
guy, are
time,
you 21?
the Early Bird Rave is going to cater to an older crowd, and by older I mean older than 20. All right.
Good. Well, then you
older
see
than
now that'll
18,
even make you feel more comfortable.
So exactly, so that I can actually get
think
out there
Cahoots
on the
should
dance floor.
sponsor it.
And you know, I actually
sponsor
know Cahoots could sponsor.
We
it.
haven't mentioned
They're out
Cahoots
there. The rave girls, especially the guys, they're dancing, and I could never be as good as they are because they've got the modern thing down. But I know a couple of steps. I can two-step, whatever.
I can outdance those kids.
No, you should see what they're doing these
You'll
days.
throw out a hit,
It's all about footwork now, Kent Wallace.
I invented the footwork thing.
You're right. That sounds like with the Kent Wallace challenge.
I'm telling you, I'll get out there. When we do the early bird special, I'll be there. I'll teach all those little
It's
youngsters
not like
how
it used to
dance.
be.
I don't care.
The whole object, Kent, is that the youngsters, they show up later. It's our time,
the
Sonny.
challenge will be see if you can show up
Just like-
earlier.
just
or
like in the
spend night
restaurant.
and keep going.
Just like
Like Ernie Banks, let's play two.
That's what Club
You
Space
can't
is all
play
about.
two.
Play two what?
Exactly.
Play
two.
two 7 p.m. And then I gotta go to bed.
The other alternative, Kent Wallace, is the private parties, where we stay all night and you go home at like 10 the next morning, because it's not just Club Space.
Well, do they have places
do
to
there.
sit down for a while and stuff like that?
Listen to you.
Yeah, no, there is no sitting down, dude.
Yes, of course.
That's my new dance, dude.
I can do fancy footwork while my ass is on a chair too. Look at this, man. Look at my feet go while I'm sitting on the chair over here. Look, see what I'm doing over here.
I'll start a whole new
they've
freaking
got
craze.
they've got a whole new set of steps now. You could look it up on YouTube. The footwork now is very fast, and they're doing some really crazy things now. The
right,
kids
well,
with their feet,
I'm happy for
and I can do a couple of it. Like I can do enough to medium level, like
Right.
intermediate level. But then the
Well, they got
pros,
a lot more
then the
wind.
pros get out there and they get their whole body going and they're popping and locking and twisting. It's a whole different thing. So Early Bird, a little bit more contemporary. We're gonna get it going.
I'm looking forward to
Cahoots can sponsor it. The club over here. It used to be the Native Florida Tap Room, and now it's something else with an M. You can
Where?
Right over here, 1 block away from here. It used to be the Native Florida Tap Room. Murphy's, McMurphy's, Morrison's.
So it's past the
Megaphones.
tracks, you mean?
It's right here, 1 block from here. 1 block that away. 1 block west of here.
Oh no, that's that. Yeah, I know.
Right next to the
I know
billiards.
It's near the pool place. Yeah,
Right
yeah,
next
yeah.
door to
It's
the pool
that guy.
place.
What's his name? I don't even want
what's
to
his
talk about it.
what? No, what is he poison? Tell me about this guy then. If he's a
super
fuckhead,
guy.
is he? Oh, I don't
Super
believe
duper.
you. Look at you looking away from me.
I ain't looking away at nobody.
What is he? What is he?
I don't know
Is he
anything about the guy,
is
but
he a
I know
schmuck?
the place you're talking about.
Is he a schmuck?
I don't
I'm
know.
not
I'm sure
talking
he's a
about the
fabulous person.
Blue Bar, which is the other place.
I know the one you're talking about. It's right up this street. It's right by the pool place. They have a yellow awning.
Yeah.
And now it's called
Something with an M.
because it's his last name.
McNally's,
No, it's not
McMurphy's,
McNally's.
Muggles.
Yeah.
Muggles.
whatever. Well,
Come
good
on.
luck. I hope it all works out well.
That's a possible place, but also right over here, the Blue Bar. Blue Bar and Bistro.
because they give
do
you
Thursday.
can basically take their places over or something.
Well, they've just been taken over, or they just changed their concept. And one of the things that they had here recently was they had an electronic music night. So there's a candidate, and also Blue Bar, also one block from here.
Right, I've been
there. Where they have Substructure on Thursdays, and I think also occasionally on Saturday. Substructure is an all electronic music thing featuring a lot of the local DJs that are playing the cutting edge electronic music. And no, I'm not talking about dubstep. You know, dubstep's already kind of
out of there.
Moving along, moving right along.
Fast.
It does move fast. Well, the people they can just kind of sprinkle their performances with a little bit of dubstep now, but if they stick with dubstep, the crowd leaves. And so that's what happened. So back to Murphy's Law. So here I am having a great time at Revolution. The first two DJs were great. We had Space Laces, followed by and it was the guy that put the show on, and I can't think of his name right now. Oh boy. I'll think of it. He was also very good. But then DJ number 3, whoever they had up next, didn't have it together, like the equipment or something like that. And so there were like the music and the lights. And I'm talking about the lights on stage. Like they had really cool multi-screen thing going on with 3D, wear your 3D glasses, because it was TerraVision. Wow. And nothing came on, and like everybody left. And you know why? It's because Tony, and I'm blaming Tony for this. Tony's like, hey, this is a really good show, but I only put enough money for until 3 o'clock. I'm going to go put more money in the car. Famous last words.
Oh,
I'm
he's never coming
I'm going to
back.
go put more money in the meter.
Yeah.
He went and he paid, because they gouge you there in downtown Fort Lauderdale. It's not like Hollywood. He went over and he put like $10 more in the parking to park for the rest of the night.
Right.
And as soon as he got back, that's when the lights went out and the music crashed. And it's all because he put more money in the meter.
Exactly.
That's
Murphy's
why.
Law.
He wrote it's Murphy's Law. And he goes, don't you see Murphy standing right there? What you're supposed to do is pay for the whole night. That way, if it sucks, it's going to suck right away, and then you can leave. By the way, because I parked in one of those parking lots.
You were
I just
whining
went
about the roller skating thing. Right?
No,
That's a
I
different
wasn't.
Wine.
That's a different wine. That's a red wine. Although that guy continues. Did you see my posting about that? That guy there, DJ Douchebag?
Yeah.
Well,
we know you've never
I'm taking it all back. I'm uncomplaining. This guy is so bad that he keeps everybody else away. I got that rank to myself. Me and my daughter, it's just us and like...
That's what you're saying. That's what I'm talking about.
2 or 3 other people. We put our noise-canceling headphones on. I don't even hear that mush mouth anymore. He plays the same 20 songs. He could just put in a CD. It's the same 20 songs. Just a cassette tape on auto reverse could do that guy's job. I want to rent that place out and do roller raves.
Notice the new
play electronic
murals
music.
and Marlena's up there.
I did not just naked, I don't know which way you're facing.
Kind of late,
yeah,
not naked, but
sexy. And also over here in this other direction. I don't know how old that is.
What, a tape deck or something?
Over here on the corner of like 19th, or just if you leave the parking garage here on Harrison and go west, right there immediately on the left, there's a mural I never saw before. Everything is getting painted up really nicely, and I'm really liking that. When's the next art walk? Is that why you're here?
No, because remember you had booked the show
the previous week.
Yeah.
Oh, is that? I don't even know when Art Walk is.
It's a third Saturday. Every month.
Well, let's book next.
But maybe not, because we might want to get Bobby Slayton. I think you should get Bobby Slayton in here.
Okay, when is that?
Well, I looked on the thing. I think he's from the 26th of November, and he actually goes through Thanksgiving. But there's a Friday in that.
In that block, in that range?
Yeah, in that block. So, I'm going to ask Bobby if he'd like to come down. That would be the 28th, the day after Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But he works that weekend, so he works the 29th and 30th. So what a good time for Bobby to come in and do the Friday show.
The 28th.
You'd love him. I mean, Slayton's just...
Oh, we've had
funniest guy
lots of really
I've ever
funny
seen.
stand-up comics on the show before, too.
But not ones that anyone knows about. I'm talking about a true celebrity.
We had Paul Mercurio on the show, I'll have you know.
He's when you have Paul McCartney.
Emmys and Grammys from writing from The Daily Show. He's a stand-up comic and an actor. Yeah, it's there, man. Lisa Correo, his friend Lisa Correo, brought
I've
him
heard
in.
of that name.
Lisa Correo, she's on TV. She's on doing TV series on Nickelodeon. She's a wonderful girl, despite her fat boyfriend, who I'd like to push into traffic. He's a good guy. Forrest Shaw, he's been on the show also. Forrest is a really great guy, and the only reason that I want him dead is because he's Lisa's boyfriend, and I just
love Lisa.
I do. I really.
Do you still love Julie at PRL?
Julie knows that I love her. I love Julie.
She got bit by a dog.
No, recently?
She just had a birthday party, too. Did you go to her birthday?
I didn't get an invite.
It was on the Facebooks.
She didn't invite me. Like,
You're not friends on
I need,
Facebook?
of course we're friends. What was it, like a wide open invitation?
She didn't invite it. I didn't. I just saw it. Like,
now you got to talk me into stuff. Yeah.
I was sure you saw it.
I didn't. I've been very busy lately with all these new shows that we have going on here. Very busy, running
problem
around.
to have.
Hustling.
Well, Cahoots is going to have a website coming up pretty soon. So
Cahoots ought to have a radio show.
They should.
Kent
well,
Wallace.
that's what I'm trying to
once a week
finesse.
thing.
I'm working on it, and I'm just
At
going
least
to have
an
to
hour.
take the bull by its horn.
I think it would be a Cahoot, the radio show that you did, Kent Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
Kent Wallace is a multifaceted human being, not just a poser and impresario, but he's a Renaissance man. He's
with a black hole,
a cosmopolitan man
with a black hole.
The black hole
with a black hole.
He told me he bleached it.
Well,
that's what his ex-wife said.
On to the next one.
Which one?
Wife number 4. Harpo.
Harpo, exactly. Hey, just think about it though. My wives I could have a basketball team with one person on the bench. That's pretty cool in a way.
You could certainly field a.
Team.
You could field a that's enough for a roller derby.
5
for a roller derby team.
Oh, 6.
6.
Oh, I got a roller derby team.
5 in the pack and a jammer.
That's right. I could have a roller derby team.
There you go. No alternates though. If anybody gets injured,
That's
that's your ass. You need some alternates.
Get it back in there. Get back.
One of these
Everybody
days,
tell 'em.
I will
Get back
take
in
you.
here.
I'll put you on
Back
the
in there.
waiting list. I'll take you to a roller derby bout.
I love roller derby. I already told you know that. We interviewed Georgia Haas, one of the meanest people of all roller derby history.
Yeah, I was married to one of the meanest people in all just history. Just regular history, not roller derby.
Not roller derby.
No, that would have required effort. She'd have to get up out of bed.
Joni Weston.
Off her fat ass. Now, were these real? I mean, because roller derby has gone through a lot of changes.
Come on, Google Georgia Hess. She was one of the most famous of the Texas. What were they called? The Outlaws. This is back in the day.
Chainsaw Massacres.
This is going back to the Philadelphia. What were those guys? My favorite team with Jim Trotter and the Bay Area Bombers with Charlie O'Connor and Joni Weston. The Los Angeles. I think they were the Thunderbirds, the LA Thunderbirds. See, you're young. I'm talking about real roller derby.
I'm a punk.
Back when the places were packed and the bank tracks, real roller derby.
I remember roller derby when it was fake like pro wrestling. So it was, it's like, there it is.
Well, it was fake like pro wrestling, but at least it was enjoyable.
Okay, well
And they could skate.
This
These guys
particular
could skate.
incarnation of roller derby is not fake. This is all very real, and they take it very seriously. And they have a worldwide association.
Do they still beat each other and hit each other with chairs and everything?
No,
well, that's no
it's
fun.
normal. It's real. It's like the difference between college wrestling and pro wrestling. It's real. They're actually
how many people
they're
watch
athletes.
college frickin' wrestling?
I don't know. Gay people.
People with asparagus.
What are you talking about? I don't have asparagus. I don't have asparagus issues until I eat it. Oh, get it? Asparagus issues.
Oh,
get it? Which now we know it's
I don't get it.
it's dimethyl sulfide, dimethyl disulfide, dimethyl sulfate, and dimethyl sulfoxide. How do you like that? That's why your asparagus smells. That's what you're smelling. Those are all the chemicals that you're smelling. Actually, 2 of them are responsible for the sulfurous fragrance, and the other 2 are responsible for sweetening the fragrance.
Huh.
How do you like that? And only asparagus does it. Asparagus is full of antioxidants. Asparagus also has probiotic elements. Do you know about probiotics?
I know about the bionic woman.
No, not probionics.
Oh.
Probiotics. Probiotics are nutrients that take a
that's
little
where
bit
Barry
longer
Bonds
to
went
break
to
down
get
so
the
that they are
big
still
hit.
present in the large intestines where they feed the bacteria that only exists in the large intestines, which is important to healthy digestion. You want to ingest a certain amount of probiotic substances during the daytime.
That's that
during
place
your
that sold steroids.
No, not probionics.
What the hell is it?
You know a place that sells steroids? Because I know some cops that might want to go
right.
there. We'll talk to that.
Yeah, most of them work in Miami.
His name is what Sommer?
Jerry
Sommer. I'm writing this down.
Sommer. And he'll be here
That's
soon.
Boca Brit's name is Brit Summers. Brit Summers. It's spelled the same
It's
name.
not Elkie Summer. Could be
Is
Elkie
it-
Summer.
Is that his real name or is that his stage comedy cop?
No, I'm pretty sure it's his real name.
Really? Now, well, I'm going to
Cuban.
save all these. What kind of a Cuban name is that? Maybe he's Cuban on his mother's side.
That's what it was, because his grandmother was Cuban.
Okay. Well, we got a lot of weird names. Remember, you probably don't watch the news down here, but the president of the Cuban American National Foundation, which is a right-wing group, a lot of the former exiles, a lot of the pro-Batista people. These are those people.
There were pro-Batista people?
White and right. The Cuban American National Foundation, very right-wing.
Right.
Their president for many years was Otto Reich. Blonde, blue-eyed,
that's a big shock,
of German parents. His Germans immigrated to Cuba, and he's a first-generation Cuban of German parents, and his name is Otto Reich. And if you see this guy, you expect him, you expect to hear drums in the background and the goose stepping, and you expect this German accent. We have ways to defeat communism. But out comes this thick Spanish accent.
Wow.
And he's fluent in Spanish, but I like this isn't a cliche at all. This uber right-winger that went to Cuba, because that his parents were probably Nazis on the run.
They escaped.
Yeah, Nazis
they
on the
washed
run.
Up. Those guys just they didn't have little rafts, they had submarines.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And
they were still coming over illegally.
And
they just jumped in
yachts.
and got the hell out of Dixie.
And
Dodge
yachts.
or whatever.
They had nice boats, those Germans.
They had
those
U-boats.
Nazis. Yeah. Well, no, but when they escaped Germany, they just got on the fancy boats.
They got on freaking subs.
Yeah, all those
they didn't
Nazi
want
war
to get
criminals.
nailed up above ground, so they were taking those submarines. They were going everywhere.
I'd love a submarine. What we couldn't do with a submarine.
I know.
Deck that thing out. Wouldn't you like to have a submarine?
In the town where I was born.
We have reminded to play Russian Submarine later. Is this a preview of Kent Wallace's show? Because no one's going to tune in if you keep that up with the mouth noises there. Kent Wallace. 954-99-0036 is the phone number if you want to call up and be ambushed on the air like the previous guy. Brett said that he couldn't get through. He said it rang and rang. I didn't see the phone ring. Did you see the phone ring? Nobody.
How do you see it ring?
It's over here. A little box pops up. Just like everything else in your life. Little box pops up. But you don't know if it happens if the box doesn't pop up and tell you that it's going on, right? Like when your toaster pastries
are done. Popcorn. Remember how it starts rising?
They still have it.
Oh, they do.
They do. They'll never take that away.
No, they can't.
It's for the effect. The microwave popcorn in a bag isn't nearly as exciting
but it pops
as that.
too. And now that you think about it, it starts gets bigger and bigger.
There you go. It gets
melt some butter in advance. I love that.
It gets
guys.
bigger.
We used to watch the movies once a week, and I
bigger and bigger
in the bed.
It's just everything has to be microwaved these days. I love my toaster oven. I'm trying to microwave things less. I love the toaster oven, man. Everything goes in the toaster oven.
Yeah, that's good.
Frozen corn dogs.
I've been using my oven. My
toaster oven. Actual oven, yeah. My actual oven, just a family of rats lives in there. I can't disturb them.
What do you want?
I could probably just turn the oven on and have some hot rats, That'll clean them right out of there. It would just, it breaks my heart. They need a place to live. I don't want to contribute to the homelessness problem, even when it comes to rats. Do you ever, we have a lot of rats here in South Florida. You ever see them walking around along the palm trees?
Yeah, they're mainly in courthouses.
They are?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, inside, sitting behind the bench. And
so I got you.
Wearing suits and things like
Bad
that.
suits.
Yeah. Are you talking about the lawyers or the judicial people?
Both.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm very jaded when it comes to the Florida court system.
Yeah, fortunately, I know nothing about it, and I'd like to keep it that way.
Hey, I've had my first experience.
My right hand. Oh, you
had
did?
my first experience as a juror.
Oh, you were a juror?
As a juror? They let you be on a jury?
I was surprised too. I really was.
What kind of case was it?
It was thrown out before I even got a chance to go in there.
Nevertheless, it was thrown out. But what was it?
I just sat in the
liquor store robbery, purse snatching, what?
No, I could
carjacking.
Jack. No, I just sat in the jury pool, like in a waiting room, listened to an annoying Cuban woman just cough behind my ear, and then I was told I can leave because the case was suspended.
Well, they won't call you for a while now, I don't think.
I hope so. But I don't know. I hear so many people talk so badly about jury duty, and it wasn't even that bad.
Those are people with better things to do.
Well, I didn't have anything to do that day. So yeah, you're right.
Well, that was good that
Right.
you did it, though. When you think about it, it really is an obligation. It's something we're supposed, if you're called, you have. You do it.
I don't.
mean, that's just.
I don't dig the jury system as just a greater. I don't dig our justice system.
Right.
And I don't think the jury system is the way that it's done. I understand that in the beginning,
Right.
When they came up with that system, the judges were as corrupt as everybody else in the system. So
Sure.
the people wrote
So
that
you
in
had
there.
a
So
shot with
so
the
you
jury.
have a jury of your peers.
Right.
But what that has become is I think that has contributed to the whole high school debate nature of court cases, where you have two people that are rather than a preponderance of the evidence or proven beyond a reasonable doubt, you have two people that are trying to sway the jury emotionally because they are not versed in the law, and so you have all these situations where this is admissible, this isn't admissible.
So
The judge
pulling their
actually telling people disregard what you just heard because it's not admissible, as if anyone has the ability to disregard it.
Exactly.
But professional judges, like in other countries, civilized countries, they have tribunals. And they have three judges, and they mix them up every time so that they can't form these relationships with each other, etc. And all of those judges know what the law is, and all of those judges know what is admissible
that makes
and not
sense.
admissible.
That-
and so
that does make
then both sides just present whatever they have. The judges sift through it. They take a vote. Boom. So there you go. It isn't this, the jury is deadlocked, deliberating, all the expense, and it just keeps going and going because they're over here arguing. And none of these people, first of all, most people don't sign up wanting jury duty. It's a thing that happens to you.
Well, right. I
At
think
best,
when
you don't mind it.
register, or- is that
When you
DMV or register to vote? It's one
DMV.
It's
DMV.
DMV.
Because it happened to me right away, man.
Yeah, no, that's
Sorry.
typically how it's done.
Sure. But most people, even if you don't mind jury duty, and even if you get a kick out of jury duty, it's not a thing that you can just sign up for. Like, I want to be a juror.
Yeah, no, you can't.
You know,
sign up.
and it's not a career that you can pursue unless
random.
you go into law. With the intention of becoming a judge one day, if you want to be a willing participant in the court system. So I say, let the people who want to be in a courthouse all day, let them be in the courthouse all day. But when you drag these people in, these unwilling participants in, what their mind is on is not what it ought to be on. Their mind is on, how much longer do I have to be here? When the hell are they going to let me out of here?
Or they're
What the
hoping
hell?
It's a big case where they can write a book.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you get the lottery.
Bottom
to be
line,
on like a major case,
right.
and so suddenly they're like very self-important.
Bottom line, whatever reason they have for being there, it isn't the right reason.
Yeah.
These aren't people that want to be there.
After that description you just gave, I was kind of hoping that it was going to be a scene from A Time to Kill, like somebody like Samuel L. Jackson popped up there, an irate black man, and a Matthew McConaughey type lawyer comes in there. Close your eyes. Let me describe to you a little girl.
No.
That's
not how it really works. Have you sat through trials?
But that's what he wanted, and
Hell,
I don't blame him.
No, and notice how I actually asked Jack if he sat through trials instead of me saying,
Were you shackled
think
to
of
a
all those
trial?
times that you've been on trial. Just presuming that he's been on trial just because he's
No
lying.
shackles.
Yeah.
No shackles.
No shackles.
If you've been present during a court case, it's as boring as church, man.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad.
It's horrible. Nobody's up there making these really great speeches, and it's just boring as dog shit. You ever watch court TV?
Well, that's why they do it.
The ex was obsessed with court TV. Oh my God! Like, you couldn't pump enough oxygen into the room to keep me awake during these court cases. Oh my God! Somebody give me some oxygen. I need some Adderall over here. Somebody, where's the? Because they do provide a budget for the jurors. Accommodations and food. They really need to provide Adderall. That needs to be part of the budget.
Well, that's another thing I was
they
looking
pass
forward
around to keep
The
you
food.
awake.
Yeah.
No food.
No food.
Yeah.
See, I
You have
heard
to pay for it.
Oh, that's not good.
Well, not if you would have got selected.
I heard there was food.
Oh, okay.
They would have hooked you up. You'd have got a little stipend and a little food money, a little pay money, gambling.
Yeah,
money.
little Bam. We
If
call
you-
that
if you live in
Bam
Vegas,
from
you
Cheech and
could
Chong.
do it.
Remember Bam? Bumming around money.
Bumming around money.
Yeah, some Bam. No, it's not fun, and I think that it should be left to some professionals. But with those provisions that you shuffle it up, you have the judges, because they used to have circuit judges anyway for that reason, so that one judge can't get entrenched into a community and receive bribery. So basically, the judge coming into town, you don't know where they're coming from. and they don't know where they're going, so that you can't have a bribery system in place.
Oh, you can.
I'm so sick. Yeah, I know. I'm so sick of all of that. Everybody's just out to feather their own nest. Nobody cares about their oath anymore. I was going to talk to the cop about that.
We're going to have to speak of that.
I plan to. It's too bad that he's not showing up.
George,
until,
you mind if I bring
2
something
o'clock.
to your attention?
Please bring something to my attention. It's
All
not
right.
the phone, is it?
You brought up Adderall, right? And I heard of this particular drug. Are you aware of the movie Limitless?
Yes.
Okay.
Haven't seen it though, but
I have it. It's a drug. It was based off a drug called Neuro 3X, and it's like it's considered a psychological supplement where it basically boosts your brain cells, your brain waves. So,
okay.
I mean, I can imagine a person like yourself, you probably farted half of the stuff that I could remember. I could try to remember. But if you have a situation where you could remember half of the stuff that you studied, my God, you'd be...
Well, I still have those.
Help him to remember.
I still have those books. I was thinking about that the other day. It doesn't matter.
It gives you endless energy and a whole bunch of stuff.
All
so
that.
Does frickin' speed.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
but it
does
doesn't
that
kill
too.
you.
Huh?
It doesn't have the possibility to kill you, though.
This drug, listen, it's overrated. Now I understand.
Well, if you remembered all the shit you did, you'd want to kill yourself.
No, not me. If I remember all the shit that people did to me. I've had to come to the conclusion. See, when I read The Doubty King when I was younger, I used to argue in my youth. I used to argue with a lot of principles that now that I'm older, I go, I think that guy had a point. And they downplayed the importance of knowledge in The Doubty King, meaning that behavior is much more important than knowledge. Then how you act is much more important to your safety, your ability to get through life in a peacefully. It's more important to you, and it's more important to other people.
Very
than
reactive.
behavior rather than knowledge. That knowledge is overrated, and I argued with that point.
I argue with that.
I don't want that
because that's not.
Because let me tell you something, Jack.
It's not
I like the knowledge that I have, and you know what? You know what good it is? The knowledge that I have that I don't actively like, as opposed to the computer knowledge which I rely on all the time.
Right.
My knowledge of history and my knowledge of religion and my knowledge of who acted in what movie somewhere. It's a parlor trick. It's good at parties. You know, like you're at a party and why does asparagus make my pee smell? Well, it's funny that you should ask. I looked at as opposed to them just picking out their phone and Googling it. It's fun at parties. The knowledge of history, Hey, explain the Punic Wars, George. Why are they called Punic Wars? Oh, they're called the Punic Wars. They're called the Punic Wars because the Romans called the Phoenicians Poeni. And that was their name for the Carthaginians and the Empire of Carthage, which is located on the northern coast of Africa. The Romans called them Phoenicians or Poeni in their language. So they were the Poenic Wars, and there were 4 of them. And Hannibal and the elephants and everything was part of that whole thing like that. And you said, very interesting. Go have another drink. Good. That's it. That's all that the knowledge is for. Knowledge is yet one more thing that you can't take with you. When they say you can't take it with you, referring to your wealth and your possessions. Also, all of the knowledge. You spend a lifetime acquiring knowledge and accumulating knowledge. That dies with you too.
Yeah, but so what's
your behavior?
So what?
Happiness.
So everything goes
happiness.
At the end, you might as well. So why not be abundant of something?
Happiness.
Knowledge is a good thing to have.
I love knowledge, and I continue to increase my knowledge. I just looked up asparagus.
Well, this is the point I'm trying to make with it. Well, if you have all this knowledge, this wealth of knowledge, right?
But it's
and
pointless.
This gives you
it's an ego trip.
Right, it's an ego trip.
How you treat people is way more important than what you know.
By having knowledge, you'll treat people better.
No, you won't.
Yeah,
then you're really not going
to, or you're not learning from what your knowledge.
Then you're really not going to like the celebrity that was pushing it.
No,
Will Smith. But as far as what they recommend or what they say it brings to you is it brings intense focus, clears your mind of mental absorption, mental clarity, and cognitive precision. So the reason why I would
you're
bring
thinking
it
that
up,
I'm going to talk bad about Will Smith, but I think he's an excellent musician.
Okay. Really?
Yes.
He invented hip-hop.
I'll say it again. No, he didn't. Although DJ Jazzy Jeff invented the chirp scratch, I'll have you know. I gotta say this. I don't know of a Will Smith song that I don't like.
Okay.
And I don't know of a Will Smith movie that I do like. All right? I don't hate on Will Smith. I hate his acting.
Okay.
I hate his role on the screen. I hate his his persona, his personality, his attitude.
Bel-Air.
Here's the problem. All of his characters are the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's it. That's all he does.
Typecast.
So
I mean, it's like how would you like to be
an
John
actor like Al Pacino was more than just Michael.
No.
Al Pacino was more than just Dog Day Afternoon.
He was
An
already
actor can be different characters.
A good actor.
And Will Smith. Make this look good.
What about Gilligan?
So Robert De Niro kind of falls in that category as well.
Robert De Niro has been a lot of different characters.
No, he hasn't. He's been smug through most of his career.
Robert De Niro.
I don't give Robert De Niro a great deal of range, but he's not just the same guy.
Right. He's not the same guy. I'll give you that.
Will Smith is the same guy, whether he's Jim West,
he's the same three guys,
or the guy in Independence Day, or the guy with the sunglasses and Men in Black. He's that same smart ass, lip smacking. Look at me, I'm so cute.
So you think he's cooning?
I absolutely do. And here's what offends me more than that, because when he's out of character, he's just normal guy. Like
he talks very astute.
He talks like a normal guy. But then when he adopts his character, it's got to be that shucking and jiving guy.
Yeah.
And I don't like it. It bugs me. That's not an acting job, buddy. It's not. Sorry, he's not the only one. He's not the only one, but it's like he's not taking himself seriously. And by the way, he's not funny. He's not funny. I love his music. Okay, listen. What? Here we go. The song is so popular that they used the hook in like 5 other songs. do we have Inside the Behind? Look in there and see if you can look. Type in Inside the Behind DJ Jazzy Jeff, because it's a funny bit. So it doesn't surprise me at all that Will Smith is in there. And by the way, while we're talking about the Smith family, I hate them all.
They're not.
Jaden is actually a cool rapper. I understand.
Yeah, well,
that's the little girl.
The son.
Oh, the son.
Because I hate him.
He has his dad's ears.
I hate him in the movies, but it's entirely believable that he's a good rapper. I will be happy to give that a listen, knowing what a great musician his father is and a horrible actor, that just because Jaden is repugnant on the screen, and he is, I want to backhand him in every movie that he's ever ruined. He's a movie ruiner, man, making his dad proud, ruining movies as quickly as his dad ever did. Jaden. All right? And Jada... But striking out, but Jada, lousy. You're a lousy actress.
The one who sleeps with the old guys or something like that.
Jada Pinkett Smith, you're a lousy actress and a lousy musician,
the wife.
And a lousy musician.
They have a daughter too.
Willow.
Willow.
Ask me about the Smith family. They smell like asparagus. Jada is a lousy actress and she's a lousy musician. Her metal band. What are you making me look at it?
What are you looking for? Inside the Behind.
No, on our music
gotcha.
collection.
Gotcha.
Our music collection. Use Media Monkey to look for Inside the Behind, featuring DJ Jazzy Jeff, because it's a very important comedy bit over here. So Jada, speaking of TV show reviews, you probably don't watch the television anymore. They have a new series called Gotham. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it. Yeah, the Batman, all the characters when they're young.
The prequel to the Batman. They could.
Right.
I'm already second guessing it. They could start the characters out a little bit younger, because they start Bruce Wayne right at the series starts at the moment that his father and his mother get shot right there. But all the other characters are already in there, and they're already way older than him. And just from reading the comic books, that these characters are right around Batman's age.
Yeah.
They're not just all old. The Penguin,
Penguin seems older.
Penguin's older, and that's fine that he's an adult when this thing starts. But everybody else is.
Catwoman.
I think it would be nice. They got Catwoman as a teenager.
It
would be Catwoman. They should have all these people as kids, and you should watch them grow up. You're dating yourself with Julie Newmar over there, although she's the best Catwoman ever. I gotta say, she holds a patent. Julie Newmar.
No,
this is what knowledge is good for: radio shows and parlor tricks. Julie Newmar holds the patent for the pantyhose that have the butt seam, so that you don't have a flat ass, so that your pantyhose form fit around your ass, so that when you wear your pants or a nice skirt with your pantyhose, it maintains the natural ass shape, because you've got a seam going up your ass, as opposed to the flat ass look.
False
Julie
advertisement.
Newmar, ladies and gentlemen, what's false advertisement?
Her. She is.
If you don't have an ass, you don't have an ass.
No, it doesn't give you
when
an
you
ass.
wear
What it does,
pantyhose,
it
this is in
doesn't
the
take your
older
ass
days.
away if you have
Enhances
one.
it.
No.
Enhances
In
the
the
fact-
olden days, when you put pantyhose on, it flattened. It took
It
out
would
the ass
flat-
crack.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
You understand?
Right.
Flat yet.
Yeah. So
Flapjack head.
Flat yet. Flat yet.
so.
Is it
So
inside
that's
the
Julie
behind
Newmar.
Will Smith? Because I don't see.
But
a,
meanwhile, back
No,
to
it's
Gotham.
jazzy jazz.
Back to Gotham. Jada Pinkett Smith plays a character, and it's
God.
the only shitty thing about the show. Her character and the way that the lines are written is just like, shut up, get off my screen.
Is
They're trying to
she
make. She's a club
Commissioner
owner.
Gordon?
No, she's a club owner. Her name is Fish, and she's a club owner.
Well, they just had to get her in there.
And a madam. Oh, yeah, exactly. It was all politics. See, this is what bothers me about Will Smith. He's so incredibly powerful in Hollywood that he can get himself and his family members into anything
Yep,
and
pretty much.
ruins it. And he ruins that shit. Did you find the inside, the behind?
I see one, but it has Will Smith. There's not one with Jazzy Jeff here, sir.
Well, the Jazzy Jeff is in it.
Inside the behind with what? No,
Will
no,
Smith.
he's not.
It's Will Smith.
Oh, there's a lot of them over here. Wow.
Yeah. Whitney
I see
Houston.
Will Smith. You don't see one with DJ Jazzy Jeff?
Nope.
I don't either.
Oh, this is important. I've been talking about it and promoting it all day long.
Yeah, it's
Oh, well.
falling on deaf
Play the Will Smith one.
Well, what's the difference between what the Smiths are doing and what Aaron Spelling did with Tori?
With Tori? Well, Tori didn't ruin any of my movies.
She just
Did
did
she?
that
Sure, you
show,
sure
right?
about
The
that?
No.
90210
What movie was Tori
right?
Spelling in
It
that
wasn't
would have been good otherwise?
All right, without using the movie.
What movie has
context,
Tori Spelling been in?
They are in
I don't
the
think she ever was in
they are
one.
in the industry.
Listen,
Through nepotism, it
Yeah.
allowed
It's-
her to have
listen,
a career.
yes.
If you want to call it that.
and the Kardashians and everything else. The difference is that Tori Spelling doesn't get what? Don't play that yet. Tori Spelling doesn't does. She's not being cast in any important movie that might be good. Like she didn't ruin Wild Wild West, right? She didn't ruin Independence Day. She didn't ruin Men in Black. She doesn't get cast
She
for shit like
ruined
that.
her
They
marriage,
stick,
though.
they stick her in these fluffy little things that I'm not going to watch anyway.
Right?
Nepotism is bad, and it's all bad. The problem with Will Smith is his success at being so prevalent and out there in movies and getting his family members out into movies to ruin them and TV shows that I would normally like. Except there's a Smith again ruining it.
It's like
Can't-
Murphy's Law. It's Smith's Law.
Can't
Smith's
wait.
Law. Want a
Right.
bad movie? Put a Smith.
Put a
in
Smith in it. He'll ruin it. Can't wait to hear Jaden's music though.
Yeah.
Is it edgy? Does
Well,
he?
comparable to what's out right now? It's
I really don't know what's out right now.
I know what's out
where
right
where
now.
where are we at now? Since you're a resident expert in the hip hop scene, are we still denigrating women and celebrating violence and crime,
No.
or have we moved on beyond that?
no, if you want to call it moving on.
Well, that's
black-
going to get old at some point.
Black men wear dresses now and
I don't believe that.
painted painted fingernails and call each other boo and babe, stuff like that.
And this is the new face of hip hop now.
New face of hip hop. And Jaden is
Scarier than I ever could have
Jaden would be-
imagined.
I'm sure
Jaden's
Jaden's
could-
leading the league on that.
No, he's actually
Oh,
a
no?
complete difference from that. So,
Let me-
which is
Being
why
man-
I would gravitate
listen,
to him. Yeah.
if part of hip hop is showing how brave you are to everybody else, that's some brave shit.
It is. I mean,
Walking out there with a dress and painted fingernails, it's like, wow. Sorry, that. Say the N word.
That nigga.
Hard. He's hard, man. He's not afraid to come out there like.
no, that nigga is far from hard.
No?
Dennis
He's hard
Rodman
bull.
was
It's-
doing that
yeah,
10
I know.
years ago.
It's-
Give me a
it's-
break.
right
So
now-
were the Funkadelics.
Right now, hip hop, and much like every other.
The Funkadelics.
Every other, yeah. You just started something. No, it seems like hip hop and every other genre, whether it's movies, they're all going for the shock value.
Yeah.
Yo.
Well, I mean, this is very old. Lou Reed and David Bowie and all these people.
You know
years
what?
ago with the glam rock. But that was very brave. That was very brave. I thought then. Of course, look, all show business, it's an attention-getting game.
Exactly.
But at the time, I thought that was very brave.
What about Boy
But
George?
but see,
Not quite, because it's already been done. See,
Well,
Lou
but
Reed
it's
and David
always-
Bowie get to deserve the credit.
Well, but there were people doing it before them. But you're right.
I mean, in Shakespeare's time.
and the thing, yeah, that too.
Those
And
little
the thing is
By the way,
that
the thing with Boy George is that was all very sincere. David Bowie and Lou Reed were putting on an act for the stage.
well, not
Boy George, that's
That's
him. If
for
you've
not-
ever seen,
not
he
co-
just really likes to dress up
not
like that.
yeah, not completely with David Bowie because
No.
his mistress wrote a tell-all book. I just recently heard her interview, and it's not all.
Well, no,
it wasn't all
bisexual.
sick. Yeah, he was openly bisexual.
I mean, he said, "I
Sure,
like
but
black
that's not-
women and Asian men."
Right.
That was his
Right. So
line.
it wasn't until he, married Iman. I think they're 20 years in, 30 years in.
They've been together forever.
Yeah, and he's his most faithful now.
Well, before he started doing the Ziggy Stardust stuff, one of his albums, like I think it was Hunky Dory or something, he's wearing a dress, he has long, flowing blonde hair, and the music is very folksy.
Well,
folk
Eno,
sounding.
remember, was one of his early producers, and Eno was always freaking off.
See, I thought
Brian
David
Eno.
Bowie and the Mick Jaggers of the world were like these grungy kids from London or whatever, but the way that the author of this tell-all book described it, they were astute. Their father, I think David Bowie's dad was a cop or an educator, or Mick Jagger, one of the two, but they had pretty good standing, lives. They just wanted to play the edgy punk guy.
They like that.
Yeah, but back to the hip hop thing. It's the difference between them and David Bowie is that it is a shtick, and they're open about that. Yeah, we just wanted to get shock value. We just wanted to get people to talk about us, and that's the part that kind of takes away from
posers.
Yeah, exactly.
Posers.
So it's like there's nothing. I mean, it first started with wearing kilts, and then it was just.
Oh, really? That was it? Kilts?
Yeah. And that doesn't.
I still see that every now and then. The modern kilt, they have pockets on it. They're made out of denim. Some of them are leather. They have pockets and chains and everything. It's a little bit tough. It's just, you're wearing a skirt, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what part?
Which, by the way, that'd be incredibly comfortable. Let's just agree that it'd be really comfortable to wear a kilt, especially those pleated ones that you just like open really wide.
Free
just sit there with boy. Nothing would be more comfortable than wearing a kilt and no undies, and I'm not going to do it. I will just sit here and suffer in silence with my nuts in a bunch.
Exactly. Condensation.
My testicles just yearning to breathe, and I'm just shut up. I'm not going to put a skirt on. Just shut up. I'm not putting a skirt on.
Deal with it.
I'm not even I don't even want to wear boxers outside the house because I just never know when I might have to break into a run. Listen, I want to keep my nuts in a bunch.
Yeah,
I want to keep everything all nice and collected and out in front of me where I can keep an eye on it.
I agree.
Where I can keep a hand on it. I don't want things to be flying around randomly.
I don't.
You never know when you might have to run from a cop.
Well,
that's what Jack told me.
Or jump a fence. God forbid.
That would really
Sure, yeah. Boy, how many jokes have been invented because of that? Well, let's take a break. Let's take a break so you can talk to your cop friend and give him directions.
Come in.
Yeah, he's here. He's here.
Right
all right, there he is. All right, great. Well, we'll take a break and reset and come back with Jerry Sommer Comic Cock
what
on SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com. We bring the chicks.
Hi, this is George. Trying to get laid all day makes me hungry, so I go to Power Smoothie in Aventura and get the healthiest wraps and most delicious smoothies ever made. I mean, really, the smoothies are so insanely delicious, they're orgasmic. The staff is friendly there and cute. The food is healthy and real, not processed. This is not fast food, it's good food served fast. And they love me there. They even let me create my own smoothie, the Malted Jorge. Go in and ask for one. They're in the Promenade Shops right off of US 1 in Aventura, or call them at 305-792-5338. You can also visit them online at powersmoothieaventura.com.
Put a team of professional consultants behind your home or business computer with Key Information Solutions, providing solutions to your internet and computing needs while keeping you on the cutting edge of technology. Preventative maintenance and networking support, hardware and custom-built computers. Let Key Information Solutions be your personal tech staff for your home or office with affordable hourly, monthly, or annual rates to fit anyone's budget. Call Key Information Solutions now, 954-973-3374. That's 954-973-3374. Or visit keyinformation.com.
Bushwood.
As I jump inside the ocean so blue,
with their sophomore release, Tidal Wave.
We've waited all this time to get the real world off your mind. Yeah.
Get yours on iTunes. Listen on Spotify.
Determination.
South Florida's own Bushwood.
Close your eyes.
For samples and shows, go to bushwoodband.com.
SoFloRadio.com remains on the air with free archives thanks to the support of our listeners. Help keep us on the air by clicking the donate button on SoFloRadio.com. And thank you for your generous support.
boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn the golden rule. So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get hot, then you must get cool. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? You chuck it on that one, you chuck it on this one, you chuck it on your mother and you chuck it on your father, you chuck it on your brother and you chuck it on your sister, you chuck it on that one and you chuck it on me. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Nobody now give you no break. Police now give you no break. That old soldier man I give you no break. Not even your eyes now give you no breaks.
What is it good for if not for doing good?
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Why did you have to act so mean? Don't you know
203. SoFloRadio.com. Kent Wallace. Jerry Summers with an S or Summer with no S? Oh, because
I told you.
well, I ignored you when you talk. I just you talk so much, I kind of just tune you out.
We do that.
Kent Wallace, and you bring it on yourself because you just kind of talk over people and
Well, you never shut up. I mean,
well,
Jesus
it's
Christ,
my
how
talk
else are you
show.
supposed to? No, it's not. Not today. It's not.
It is my talk show, and when you get your own talk show, you'll be able to step all over me.
Yeah. Well, next time we run your ad, we'll put another guy's show on it.
Okay. Nobody else will have you in their studio, Kent Wallace. What are you talking about? Like, can't say the same for Jerry Sommer. Sommer Comic Cop is what Kent Wallace called you. I'll have to friend you on Facebook and everything so I can put actual links when we do the post-show stuff. I can actually, do that linking name thing on there. We can link back and forth and cross-promote you. So before we get into, heavy cop discussions, like why do you guys keep shooting people and stuff, that's for later, maybe the second half hour. I think the obvious question on everyone's mind is how do you reconcile, being a police officer with a stand-up comic? Because while... it's not like a cop can't have a sense of humor, but most of the time when people run into the police or have an encounter with police, that's a very serious situation. And so, that's the perception that I think that most people have is that, cops are serious people and, they don't laugh until, after they shoot somebody and then they high five and fist pump and, look at that guy bleeding there.
Chest bump.
Other than that kind of appreciation of humor, most people don't consider cops, funny people with funny bones. You can just grab that microphone and put it where you want, but it has to be in front of your face or we won't even hear it.
Well, the whole thing about being a cop, and I've been a cop for 13 years, and I was in the Air Force, so I was military police for about 4 years, so I've been in law enforcement for about 17 years. And what I've learned is being a cop, especially down here in South Florida and in this city, you deal with everyone's problems, and it takes a toll on you.
Sure.
And I think that's why when someone calls up the police, they don't realize what that officer did prior to them calling. So if they got robbed, it's a problem for them at that point in time.
Right.
Not realizing that officer just may have came from a child who just died in their arms, or they just on-viewed someone who just got shot, or someone else who just got robbed. So it's just a mindset that a lot of people have, that they think that the cops really don't care about them. It's not that. It's just that we are dealing with everyone's problems.
Do you think that people get harder as cops, like the more time that you spend in law enforcement, the harder you get, so therefore the less sensitive that you might be towards it, because you just get used to it.
You definitely get.
You have to, I guess, kind of.
Well, you see some serious stuff. I mean, the stuff that police officers see on a daily basis is stuff that someone may see once in a lifetime. Yeah,
sure. And it's routine. It becomes routine.
So is
Something
the
like,
humor then
like with
a
paramedics.
release valve?
I've been a comedian since I was a child. So I mean, I've been a class clown and
so law enforcement is as a release valve for your comedy.
the
other way around. I need something serious to do.
This is
life's too funny. I need to inject some tragedy and drama into my life here.
I can't laugh all the time. I need to cry.
I need to be one with the people.
No, well, it is a good job. It's a good career. It does take a toll after years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as far as
even in Hollywood. I mean, I know we got our ups and downs here in Hollywood, but there are way worse places to be in law enforcement in South Florida, I imagine. Although, I've had my bike stolen. My wife got her car stolen right from her house. And when I used to live there, it was a good neighborhood.
You would be surprised. You should take a ride along. And,
okay.
It would open up your eyes completely.
Keep him in the trunk, though, would you?
No, I want to be on the roof with a light up hat.
Whatever happened to his bike? His bike got stolen, by the way.
Bikes,
what happened to him?
Yeah, the bikes got stolen.
Wow.
This would be three bikes in total that's been stolen from that same location. They come at it with the bolt cutters and whatever. Life goes on. You know.
Did you take off the seat?
No.
You know what?
I had a really heavy duty cable on there, not heavy duty enough, obviously. And I don't. It's not the best neighborhood in the world, but whatever. I go to Lee's bike shop for the bike accessories and everything all the time, and I pulled up there with my bike, and they got that covered area. What it's like. They got like a kind of a back porch area where they have other bikes for sale and things, and I just parked my bike right there and started to walk inside, and one of the guys that worked there said, "No, hey, bring the bike in with you, buddy. Somebody will steal it." And I go, "Right here under the awning with all the other bikes?" And I go, "In 30 seconds." I said, "I had a bike out here. I walk in, I come back 30 seconds later, it's gone." So yeah, Hollywood is very diverse.
It is.
So
speaking of the ride along, that would really suck for me because I can't sit in the back seat, obviously. Can't sit in the front seat. Now,
why not?
I'm not going to fit in the trunk.
Why can't you?
So it's because I'll look like an informant.
No.
Oh, who's that?
Oh, yeah, they'd be seeing them. They'd say, you'd have to wear handcuffs. So just wear handcuffs.
Wear handcuffs, see?
Wear handcuffs, exactly. Your friends go by and say, they got me.
It would open up your eyes tremendously if you did a ride along.
I would love to. And if Jack did a ride along, can we dress him up like a cop so that it wouldn't
we
look
can dress
weird?
him up in like a black shirt and some cargo pants.
Oh yeah,
and maybe like some plastic handcuffs.
Yeah, I look
with some
like
furry pink around it.
I look like SWAT or something like that.
Yeah, there we go. You can look like a SWAT guy.
A little small for SWAT though.
I'd wear one of those kilt things you guys were talking about.
Nah, no kilts. No kilts. We were talking about hip hop and kilts. Guys wearing dresses.
That doesn't fit.
I've seen it.
It's not cool.
That's
not cool.
That one rapper, he wears those
Young Thug.
Young Thug. Yeah, he just performed at Vault.
Yeah.
He did at Vault.
At Vault.
Vault's a happening place. I've been to two of the Larry parties there,
Larry
right?
Dog, comedian.
And two different electronic music rave-like events there, and now they're doing comedy, which is great. That's a wonderful space.
And it's a car lot, isn't it?
And
during the day.
During the day, it is a car.
Really? I didn't know that.
You didn't look on the other side.
No.
You drive past it on the highway, you won't even notice it.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I think it's a great venue, especially because it's tucked out of the way, so you can do a lot of crime there, and nobody will notice.
Not if Jerry's over there.
Not if I'm there.
No, it's all hidden and dark and everything, and you can anything goes in the sparking lot there.
Yeah. It's actually a great venue. I've worked. I've worked actually Vault.
And
security.
And by the way, if Jack and his friends get a little bit out of control, you can actually lock yourself in the vault. They have a real vault there. You can just
2 vaults.
You can just go in there where they keep all the booze, so you can just like run in there and pull the door in behind you.
And boy, you talk about a party.
And call the cops from there. It's kind of like the panic room.
Yeah,
And
just take your time.
In case of those hip hoppers start getting uppity and getting out of line. Although I like Larry's ideas. Larry Dog, the comedian, I don't know if he's going to be a part of this, but. Mm-hmm. Larry in the vault. Larry's at the vault all the time.
Right.
When he had us be our guests, we were wondering why. I went there with Jack and Randy. They're both of color and both tall, beautiful people in their own right. Both of them dressed wonderfully. As a matter of fact, and your friend
Zoo.
Right. All dressed nice. We're all dressed in tuxedo jackets and everything. But for some reason, they weren't charging me for my drinks, but they were charging them. And this is everybody's black there except for me and Larry's rabbi, right? That's it. There was a rabbi there. And I had like really thuggish, gold tooth gangsta rapper looking types opening the bathroom door for me and calling me sir. And I'm like, what the hell's going on here? What's going on? Larry was telling people that I was the club owner. And he was telling other people that I was the record producer.
The white Cuban guy.
And I had my fedora on, so there you go. So that's... I got my Halloween costume. I'm just going to go to black clubs and tell people that I'm a record producer.
I own the place.
That's it.
And scoop up the free drinks. So Kent was telling us about this other thing going on November 28th. Is that at the same place, or was that a different thing?
No, you're talking about Bobby Slayton?
Yeah, because
no, that's different. That's
Jerry
the
was
Hard
just telling me about a November 20th event at the vault there.
Oh, you got one on the 20th?
Yeah, we're doing once a month. Well, starting in December, we're doing it twice a month because comedians are blowing up my phone and my partner's phone and our Facebook wanting to perform here. So we're starting December. We're doing 2 shows a month, but next month, November 20th at 8 p.m., we have Gene Harding. If you don't know who he is, go YouTube him. He is hilarious. He is funny. I mean, it's only $10 to get in, guys.
And you got a big roster of comics. I mean, the time I went, there had to be 8.
Well, yeah. Well, last night we had a show, and we had Eric Myers was our headliner, who he killed it last night. And we had some comics that came from the Improv, and they drove over to see what was going on.
Nice.
And we put them on stage for 5 minutes. They wanted to perform. Hey, you want to go on stage, Nate?
How many comics total on November the 20th? Let's talk
November
about that
20th
show,
should be about.
I'm compelled.
We have 1 host and we have 4 comics.
Okay.
And
$10.
It's $10.
Great.
It's
I can
$15 for the
$10.
VIP. You get a couch. Which
No, I don't. Yeah, I have enough trouble paying for anything as it is because when radio, every business has its built-in perks, and people in radio, we just want to be able to go to things for free. I mean, hey, I talked about it. Let me in. Everything. I mean, there's lots of perks that go with being a cop. Like you get to run red lights.
One would think.
Well,
I wish. No.
I mean, I've seen it all the time. You just turn on the lights.
Well, we're going to a call.
You go through your. And that's okay. Listen, I get, and I'm glad that you're here because I post a lot of things on Facebook that one of my Facebook friends calls. He's not flaming it. How you doing? How you doing out there, Tom? I'm shouting out to Tom. I'm going to send him a link of this show specifically because I guess Tom is either a cop or a former cop. And he calls people like me cop haters because I'm always posting all these things of when a cop gets caught doing something wrong. I post that because I believe that someone ought to police the police because I believe, because here's where I'm coming from. I believe the cops are necessary. I believe that we need law enforcement and we need protection and not because the alternative is just anarchy and every man for himself. So we've got to have one system or the other. And so because we need protection from bad people and we need people that protect us from criminals, we hire people to do that and we equip them with bulletproof vests and guns and Batman utility belts and performance vehicle and give them authority, give them certain powers that we don't have, like the ability to run red lights, to turn on the bubblegum machine, and you can run red lights, and we're all cool with that. But because you've got all these things, these tools, and it goes back to the ancient times, there is the opportunity to abuse that power and authority. So you swear an oath that you won't. The oath is to us. Bill Maher talked about the oath that you swear is to us, not yourselves. But there seems to be in the minds of certain people in law enforcement that protecting themselves is the only consideration when they arrive on a scene. That their own personal safety should be the most important thing going on. And I thought as a citizen that no that's because I don't think that there's anybody that joins law enforcement that's completely surprised by it. I think that going into it, and correct me if I'm wrong, before you become a cop, somebody talks to you and says, this is a tough job, right? You know that you're
talks to you.
But you know that. I mean, I don't think anybody goes into law enforcement completely ignorant
until you
get into it.
it's a totally different world.
But it's
than
not
what
for
you-
everyone. It's not for everyone.
You're right.
And I believe that the people that are able to pull it off, because it's not for me. You know, I'm physically weak. I'm a really good shot, by the way. Let's go to a range and I'll show you. But it takes more than that to be a cop. I think it takes more than, if that's all it took, then I could be a cop. But I think that it takes someone who's good at reserving their force rather than someone that's good at using their force. I think that a lot of people are big and strong and tough, and that doesn't qualify you to be a cop. It's someone who can use that superior strength, superior martial prowess, superior weaponry and equipment, someone who can use that responsibly. That's who deserves to be a cop. And when I see somebody violating their oath and abusing it, it makes me angry as a citizen and as the employer. It's like I'm
you're
paying
not the
for
only
protection.
One that it upsets because
it upsets good cops.
It makes the ones who do go
Right.
out there and we do want to help the citizens out there, and we do want to catch the bad guy.
And I believe that.
You know,
I have friends, I have family members
we
who are
both have
cops.
family that are cops, you know, so it's completely
Right.
understandable when we hear the stories.
I'm not anti-bad cop. I'm not anti-cop. I'm anti-bad cop.
Right.
Because I love the good cop so much, and it's just like with the priests. There are three kinds of well, there are only two kinds, you know, of priests and cops. The bad cop, and then the guy that covers up for the bad cop, that's also a bad cop. All right? And the good cop is outnumbered if that's what's on the force, is somebody who's if a cop that's breaking the law.
There's many more good cops than there are bad cops.
I want to believe that also.
So it's like bad news spreads quicker than good news. So the
Absolutely.
good cop's
Sure.
not going to get patted on the back because
I-
by your
I
own
post all
argument,
that stuff.
you're saying that
Somebody-
they're supposed to be good
there's-
ipso facto. So
I-
why give them
I-
credit for what
I
you're
can
telling them they
link
have to do?
you to a website that shows how many cops get killed daily.
Sure. Well,
I think
it's
I
a
think
dangerous
every
job,
30
but that's a dangerous
That's not
job.
what you sign.
You don't sign up to get killed,
right?
But
exactly.
you
Well, a
do
lot of
sign
people
up
get
for
that
danger.
perception that, oh well, he's a cop and it's okay for him to get shot at.
Right?
And
No,
it's okay, and-
you're not.
and-
I don't
and
believe that you should be signing your life away.
Right.
But
And-
you are. You do. It is a dangerous profession. Like
very dangerous.
you know, firefighting, auto racing, an astronaut. I mean, you know, going into it
Football
that you are
players.
putting your life way more at risk than a butcher,
Joe
baker,
Schmo,
candlestick maker. If you're afraid, if you are afraid of danger, you shouldn't be any of these dangerous
Right,
professions.
Yeah, you should not, and especially the thing about law enforcement is that you don't know who's the bad guy.
Right.
That's the thing,
Right.
because bad guys come in all shapes
Sure.
and sizes, and the looks are they vary. So you
Sure.
can't
Well,
really.
no.
And that's the thing. That's
An
why a lot
effective
of
bad
cop-
guy doesn't look like a bad guy.
It's
or-
a world within itself. I mean, like anything, whether it's religion or, you know, any faction or group of people, you're going to have a small pocket of people that are just,
Of
you know,
course.
negative. So,
Absolutely.
you know, my whole thing is just approach, which, like you just explained, is hard. Approach the situation or the person like a human being. But if you're just coming from, you know, a child dying in your arms, I mean, it's kind of hard for me to really empathize with what's going on right now.
Right.
If you don't know who the bad guy is, because here's the thing that happens, and I've been very fortunate in my life, and I guess it's because of my innocent childlike punum over here,
Yeah.
because I've been in situations where, you know, it was a party that the cops showed up at, and they start grabbing people and throwing them up against the walls into the grounds and walk past me like I'm a plant. All right, so I've been very fortunate that way, but there have been occasions where, you know, cops roll up on a scene and immediately start treating everyone as if everyone just did something wrong. And some people, it's like, man, I just got here, so I don't even know why you're here, but I just got here. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of cops make, is because they don't know who the bad guy is, so they automatically treat everybody like they're bad guys.
Well, that's the whole thing, is that you have to take order. You have to, when you get on a scene that's
Yeah.
kind of chaotic,
Mhm.
and if you allow the people who are just on viewers, on view, because I know everyone wants to see what's going on.
Right.
Sure.
But there has to be some sort of order.
I agree with that.
And if you're a parent out there, you know that people
I am.
and your kids don't listen the first time you tell them.
Right.
Like, hey, don't do that.
Right.
Don't do that. Don't do that. So it gets
Right.
to a point where
Sure.
you mean I'm not gonna ask. I'll ask once nicely, but that's
Hey,
about it.
That's
because,
as
I'm
a,
not gonna keep
as a
telling the same-
citizen
and an adult.
As a citizen,
Right, over
that's
and
all
over.
I ask. That's
Yeah.
all I ask. And I'm talking about the experiences that I have that I feel are negative. Is like, you know, I feel that like you don't know me and you just got here, and don't presume that I'm guilty of anything, and don't treat me like shit. You just got here. Don't treat
But
me
you
like
heard
shit.
what he said. They got to establish
no,
orders,
his-
so they
I
can't
know,
treat
establish
everyone
orders.
as an
Take things
individual.
Right, and he said,
personal. I think a lot of people take things personal,
Ask
like it's
nicely
like
once.
he's
Ask nicely
Cuban.
once. Oh, yeah.
But you know what? But we're not here to be nice. I mean, that's the whole point.
Right, but-
like we're really not here.
Customer
You
service cops.
don't call the police to be like, hey, I
Right.
got some cake. Come on over and have some. No, it's like
No.
someone got shot. There's a
I'm
burglary.
going to call the
Listen,
police.
I'm
I'm going to call you.
You call
You got to
cops
leave me your
'cause
number.
something
What do you
bad
want to do? Do you want to
happened.
say, come on, I got
Something
some
bad
cake.
happened.
Right,
So
yeah.
We
we're-
got an extra seat at the table.
And I do understand
we're not
that.
here to make
These
people
are-
happy.
This is not
We're
the
here
first
to make
conversation I've
sure-
heard with my friends. One of my best friends, like right out of high school, went to the academy, and on poker night he would come right off a shift, so he would just take off his gun and hang it on a hook, you know, the utility belt, and play poker in uniform and everything, and he would talk about what happened and everything. Lots of insight. One of my cousins, retired city Miami with honors. You know, he was a lieutenant, and by the way, he was the person that explained to my family how famous I was. He was the first person to explain to the Spanish-speaking people in my family, like, no, you don't understand. This is Jorge Rodriguez. He's huge, you know. And because he was a cop, he's big medicine in my family, and he was in uniform when he was telling everybody that. So I got nothing but sympathy. I just feel like the whole, you know, innocent until presumed guilty. I like your idea. Ask nice once. Give me the opportunity. Give me the opportunity to do whatever the hell you're telling me to do without spit.
Right.
and anger and venom. I mean, because I am a
Or
good guy
barrels
and
to
I
the
am a
face.
nice guy, and I'm not.
But I think
you know,
a lot of people take it as a personal attack.
It's hard not
but
to.
like I said,
It's
you
hard
don't
not
know-
to,
You
you
don't
know?
know what that officer just came from.
Okay, I don't.
You don't know if he
I
just came
don't.
from. He had to wrestle with the guy for a half an hour for his
Well,
life, and all of a sudden he just arrested that guy and he just left jail. And then all of a sudden,
Right.
the minute he gets out of putting this guy in jail, he gets a hot call where there's a big old fight and there's a crowd, and now he has to.
Well,
So I think a lot of people have to don't take things so and I do understand what you're saying.
It's hard not to. By the way, there's a difference between a reason and an excuse. Like, that's the reason that cop might be like really keyed up right then
Right.
and there. There's a reason and an excuse. But here's the other thing, and it's just like when fat people say that it's hard to lose weight. For every cop that I know that lets it get to them, I know 2 or 3 more that keep it under control. They can come from a call that was really hairy and scary, and then reset before the next one, so that they don't bring it to the next encounter. I know people. I mean,
here's the thing: is that especially this city, we are a busy city. So if you think that if a cop just went to a domestic and then he has a half an hour to go to a donut shop and hang out, he doesn't. He's going from
Right.
that domestic to another domestic to maybe a rape case. Then from that he's going to a car accident. Then
Sure.
from that he's going to maybe a stabbing. And this is all they maybe there's some other cities that are they're a little bit slower, but for a lot of the metropolitan cities, I mean, a lot of guys don't really have time to just chill. And
Right.
and if you do see a cop who's chilling, he's probably on his break from
Right.
that chaotic day that he's having. So next time you do see a cop at a donut shop or a coffee shop and he's hanging
Well,
out,
I don't resent that.
No, I'm just, this is
Yeah.
for the people who are out
Sure.
there listening. That I mean, just think about his day, because a lot of people don't realize. Your day may have been like you went to work and you had a hard day at work, and
I don't know if it can change in an instance too.
You know?
I used to repo cars, and I'd say that's 90% boredom and 10% panic, because when you get on a scene and I've been shot at, I was held hostage at gunpoint and everything. It was crazy stuff. By the way, I got a whole new appreciation for police repoing cars, and I learned a lot both ways. First of all, I learned how little the police know about the law in a lot of cases, and how much they know about the law. Really, and as individuals, it really depends on which part of town you're in and who you're running into. I ran into cops that could quote the manual and the law, and I ran into cops that you thought, what are you doing here? And I was going to ask you that. Do you think that the admission system, that the criteria system is fine or could use improvement as far as who is allowed to become a police officer? Because I think it could use improvement as far as the screening process goes. and I think that would just solve 90% of my complaints right there.
The screening process is.
I
You
don't.
would be amazed.
I don't. I know some people. I personally know some people that became police officers. They aren't qualified for dog catcher, much less cop, and there they are.
Right. I mean,
all right.
It's if you see the applications that go through daily and how many actually get hired, it's a tough process. So,
but it's also different depending on city, municipality. Don't they have different requirements and different criteria? I mean,
it's pretty. I mean, it's really it's law enforcement. So it's really.
Okay.
I mean, there's really not much.
Is there like just one giant academy?
No, I mean, for our city, I know they've been hiring a lot of people.
I just saw an ad on the Circle over here.
They've been hiring a lot of people.
Because we're booming in Hollywood here. They've got a lot of activity. I think the population...
I'm not going to comment on why we're hiring a lot more police officers, but if you go online, you can probably find it out.
Is it because of black people?
Yeah.
No.
But I'm blaming Jack over
there.
Because technically he lives in Pembroke Park.
No.
Okay.
So I'm on the border. I'm like, I'm right next to West Park and leading into Hollywood Hills. Next to the park.
You're gonna make me look online to find out why we need more cops
That's
right now.
Man, that's uptown stuff, man.
Rich.
And he's just Will Smith. You are Will Smith.
Yeah, I'm so rich. I walked in on somebody stealing my PlayStation.
You're so rich, you rode your scooter in.
Well, I'm guessing you're not hiring all these extra cops because of the French Canadians.
No, no, but it has nothing to do with
ethnicity. That's
has
me
nothing to do with the
cracking wise.
No, it just has to do with. I mean, if you look it online, you'll find out on why there's.
It's not because of a spike in crime, is what you're trying to say.
Right. There's always been crime here in Hollywood since I've worked here. So it's not a spike in crime. Is crime going higher? I mean, I haven't checked the ratings, or I mean, not the ratings, but the
statistics on crime.
But
I don't think they're stealing my bike at a more increased rate than they used to. It's just
they're
about
just
the same
still
rate.
doing it. Well, as quick as you can buy one, they'll steal it.
Yeah.
Did you when I saw your show, you did a character, your grandmother, I think. It was a character.
My mom.
That was your mom, but she was Cuban?
My mom is Colombian. Yeah.
Colombia's.
Oh, it was very funny. He does a
He thinks
bit on
all
his mother.
Hispanics are the same.
Yeah, well, I thought they all got up there.
Well, it depends on what coast you're on. If you're on the West Coast, everyone's Mexican.
Exactly.
And
Right.
then over here
they're Cuban. How the hell do I know about Colombia?
New York, they're all Puerto Rican.
And the Midwest is Mexican.
Yeah, New York is Puerto Rican.
Yeah. No. Man, my mom is a funny woman. She is. She's funny.
Do that little voice though. Just do that little voice. No, he does her voice, but you know what I'm talking.
You sound just like a gringo. Go ahead, do that voice you do.
So my mom, she
people.
she says S in front of every word because she's a thick Hispanic accent. So she's like, Jerry, you're so stupid, and what are you going to do today? And she's just a funny woman, and I'm always cracking on her. She a couple months ago, she watches Dr. Oz. She thinks that Dr. Oz is actually her doctor.
That's
her
great.
personal doctor. And a couple months ago, she came into the room, and she goes, my mom lives with me. And she goes, Jerry, yo tengo un fellatio problem.
Wow.
And she's pointing to her stomach.
Me too.
And she's pointing to her stomach, and because she's been gassy lately, right? and I'm like, Mom, I really didn't want to make her wrong. I'm like, okay, Mom, you have a fellatio problem, right? And then the other day, she was watching Dr. Oz again. She comes running in, and she goes, I found out I didn't have a fellatio problem. And I'm like, well, what do you have then? She goes, I have a flatulent problem. I said, and she goes, what does fellatio mean? She goes, what does fellatio mean? And I said, do you really want to know? And she goes, here's
my iPad.
Yeah.
Google it, Mom.
And she goes, yes, tell me.
Walk out the room.
I said, it means oral sex, Mom. She's ay, que sucio. And I go, technically, Mom, you kind of do have a fellatio problem. So she started laughing, but it was a good time.
That's funny. There's apparently there's an age bracket there. Neil was telling a story once about it came up in a conversation with his mother, and his mother goes, "Oral sex? Ooh, I just can't imagine such a thing." And I said, "Well, that explains why your dad is so surly." I almost got fired, but it was a funny joke. There was more dead air after that statement than all other 10 episodes put together on the Neil Rogers Show. So you tour? Do you tour around
I do not
comedy?
tour. No, I do not tour.
You just
this time.
stay around?
Actually, I just got back into comedy. I started about 4 years ago, and then I did a little acting on the side for all the shows that were filmed down here. And then recently, you know what? I'm going to get back into stand-up. So I reached out to some friends, and they're like, let's do it. So I said, I have a great venue. Let's start up a comedy night. And it's been going great. The past 2 months have been pretty much, last month was sold out.
We're talking at the Vault over here.
Yeah, the comedy.
So it's now the Comedy Vault. That's the permanent name, or you just call it that?
I call that for my night.
Okay.
Which is the Comedy Vault, and it was packed last night. I mean, the comedians were hilarious, and next month everybody should come out and see Gene Harding. If you don't know who he is, you better, because he is hilarious. He's one of the new up-and-coming comics. He tours around all over the U.S. So go, if you have some time, YouTube him, and come out and see the show. It's $10, cheap. Drinks are cheap.
Yeah,
so
that's
not
a good
free,
place.
but it's a great place. The venue's really nice.
It is nice. I like that place.
Yeah, it seats a good amount of people. But come out, yeah.
When you were in the Air Force, which is great, I love Air Force. My brother-in-law was in the Air Force. He used to hang out at Homestead Air Force Base all the time. So, I got the inside treatment back before it was an Air Reserve base, and I still have like my little box of tchotchkes over the years, so little Air Force pins and stripes that I got from him and his friends and everything. So. Yeah, go Air Force. I was gonna, if I was gonna get into the military, it would have been the Air Force, where
Flyboy
boot camp is a whole weekend.
Yes.
Yeah, this is really hard.
It was actually, it was either when I was gonna join, I was gonna go into the Marine Corps, and my brother.
Yeah. You look like you could pull off the Marines.
Yeah, I was into it, and then my brother looked at me, he goes,
"Why?"
He was in the Air Force. He's like, "Why?" He's like, "You're going to get paid the same, and you're going to treat a whole lot better." And I was like, you know what?
That's good logic there.
Yeah. I'm like, you know what? It's making sense now. So I joined the Air Force.
An MP in the Air Force,
MP,
which is weird, because I didn't think the Air Force had MPs, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're actually called Security Police, SPs.
Okay.
Now they changed it since I've been out. It's now Security Forces. So I was based in Montana.
Got to talk.
Yeah,
that's my Montana cozy over there. I used to live in Montana.
Really?
I just came back. I was there the summer for 2 weeks in the summer, reconnecting with old friends and my family member there.
Beautiful.
Northwesternmost county, Lincoln County, Montana.
Lincoln, nice.
Libby Loggers. I almost graduated. My mother made me come down here to graduate, and then I went right back up there. That's where I got my start in radio.
Wow. Yeah.
I could find my way out of any part of the Cabinet Mountain Wilderness blindfolded.
Montana is beautiful. I was based in Malmstrom Air Force Base in Great Falls.
Oh, wow. So
dead center of Montana.
Sure.
It was
not quite as mountainous, but beautiful.
It's
It's called Great Falls for a reason. I mean, the crazy waterworks going on over there.
It's a beautiful place. It
sure is.
I mean, you're about 20. You can see the mountains from where we're at. I mean,
I'm sure you've taken a lot of trips up into the mountains.
Oh God, Missoula.
Yeah, that's the closest interstate to us. 3.5 hours from Missoula is where I was.
My good friend in the military, in the Air Force, he is from Darby, Montana. And he got based in Montana.
The Job Corps is my brother went to the Job Corps in Darby, Montana. So
we're
that's
still good friends.
That's nearby. He's right by Hamilton.
Minus Hamilton. It's like it's a beautiful state. It's just very cold. Especially coming from I'm from California.
Not just cold, but bleak. The winters are very bleak, especially when you're in the valley where we were. You get 6 hours of it looks like this. This is as bright as it gets right now. It's just overcast. Like the sun doesn't really clear those mountains, and it gets very depressing. Yeah. But while law enforcement, I mean, because you were in the Air Force there, but law enforcement is so Mayberry in Libby, Montana. We were on first name. Every cop there and everyone in the sheriff's department, which is stationed in Libby, you're on a first name basis with all of them. This guy you went to school with. This guy's your church. The sheriff of Lincoln County, right now, presently, Robbie Bowe. Shout out to Robbie. We went to church together. We were, fundamentalist Christian church kids together in the same Sunday school, the same everything. His father taught me how to milk a cow. So, I'm driving around Lincoln County. I get stopped by the sheriff. It's going to be hugging. It's going to be Robbie, George. Oh my God, hugging.
That was also the sex education course. I mean,
big guy. Can you imagine driving down the road and you see the sheriff picking someone up, swinging him around? Because that's what he would do. Because he was always so much bigger than me.
And
he could pick me up and throw me.
And when I got out of the military and I moved from Montana back down here to South Florida,
Culture shock.
Yeah, well, I drove down because I wanted to see the United States. I realized that the majority of the United States is like Montana. Like
Sure.
Small town.
Sure. Middle America.
Yeah, middle America. And I had no idea growing up in California and then South Florida.
Right, and here. Yeah,
here I am. I'm thinking like everywhere in the United States is like Miami
this
or
booyah
San
base
Francisco.
Of all these crazy
You're from
different
San
people.
Francisco?
Yeah.
No shit, so am I.
Yeah.
So all these,
You were born in San Francisco?
I was born.
How do you like that?
San Francisco.
So was I. Mount Zion Hospital, buddy.
St. Luke's Hospital.
No kidding.
Yeah.
See there?
All right.
It's like family over here.
Let's all give a group
Hey,
hug.
so
Let's go get
you know who we're going for tonight, huh?
The Niners.
Giants. The Giants are in the World Series. For Christ's sakes, how long you been away?
Oh, but they're going to win already. Come on. You already know. Oh, what do you?
Excellent.
No, he doesn't like either team.
I'm a Marlins fan.
Oh, well.
He's a Marlins fan.
Yeah.
Local boy.
Wait.
Actually born here.
He's
the
I
one.
love the Marlins. I mean, I do love the Marlins. It's just
The owner here. I know.
yeah. The stadium's fantastic.
Yeah, I was there yesterday. It's awesome.
What were you doing there yesterday?
I had a job fair.
Oh.
George is waiting to get paid from George.
What, from me?
Oh, you were at a job fair.
At a job fair.
Job fair.
Job fair.
Looking for a fair job.
Yeah.
A fair one.
And he's
Is there any out there?
And he's still looking.
Oh.
No, it's not. And the police jobs aren't fair. I'm really very sympathetic towards anybody that does a really important job and doesn't make a lot of money doing it, because why would anybody get into that line of work? Teachers, nurses, and cops. Why would you get into that line? First of all, they're all really important. Like we need that stuff. It's not optional. It's not like, we don't need a sushi chef. I love sushi, but if we didn't have sushi chefs in our society, we could just make it ourselves. Really, I'm sorry, we could just cut that raw fish and put it on some rice and eat it ourselves. But we need teachers. Who's going to educate our children? We need nurses, because the doctors aren't going to do it. Most of the care that you get comes from a nurse.
Yeah.
And we need cops, or we would have chaos.
It would be
we would have anarchy. And not only would we have chaos and anarchy, but in an anarchy, the people that suffer the most are the women and the children.
The weakest.
The young, the old, the women, the children. The weakest there are always going to be, and you look at places like Somalia, and in places when the government collapses, and all these individual warlords. And so one strong thug with his strong thug buddies basically controlling everything. That's despotism, and that's what we would have. And the weakest people are the ones with suffer. So we need cops. My whole thing, because I like to reinvent everything, including if I see a movie I don't like, I'll rewrite the script. This is how that should have gone. The way that it should be for all of those careers is high standards but equally high rewards. Like, this isn't a job that's for everyone. I mean, in the case of nurses and cops, our lives are in your hands. If there's a crisis situation going on, you're the difference between me living and dying. So it's incredibly important. And it's not for everyone. The standard should be very high for both, because a lapse in judgment could cost lives. And in your case, your life, my life, everybody's life, a lapse in judgment. So high standards and high rewards and high pay and more cops, because in both of those cases, cops and nurses, there are never enough to go around. They're always pulling shifts that are way too long. They're always staying on duty longer than they should. They should have clocked out hours ago. They're tired. This leads to lapses in judgment, that are very dangerous. So that's how I think that those things ought to be approached. And in the case of cops, this is a taxpayer supported thing, and I'm all for higher taxes for better police, not necessarily more, although sure, yeah, that too, more, but just better. This is an area that deserves, this is part of the infrastructure, like the roads and the bridges. You need a lot of money put into that enterprise to have quality. You got to pay for it.
Cops and more teachers and
more nurses.
This world would just
right.
be
wonderful country. I mean, look
like night and day. Because
we're getting our asses
if
kicked.
You think about it. If there's more cops on the road,
sure,
I mean, you're gonna think twice. You won't even think about doing something wrong because there's a
right.
chance and the probability of you getting caught is higher.
Sure,
but they know that if one city has I mean, if there's like a short staff of police officers, they know that they can do whatever they're doing, and the probability of them getting caught is less than if there were more.
Like bicycle thieves, for example. I mean, you can have a cop substation in my parking lot. That would suit me just fine. Let's see if that deters.
It probably would.
A little bit, maybe. It's a fun street, my street. So yeah, I'm gonna buy the property from
shop up there.
Yeah,
what a great idea!
Hang out
I want to
with donuts.
My apartment, it's a mixed use street. That means it's zoned commercially, but there's houses and warehouses and things like that. But no really like walk in businesses. So I want to buy my property that I'm currently renting and put something out in front. Like I think that would be a good thing. My big idea, I'm going to call it the Oasis, and it would be a covered area with some seating, and then a whole bunch of vending machines, like the way stations have, like those unattended truck stops where they just have vending machines and a shelter. And there you go, and have the Oasis, and then, the cops and everybody. It's open 24/7. Everybody, it's very well lit, cameras and everything. You just go in there and
want to pay for
have a
it when
sandwich.
they could get a free one at the donut shop?
I'll give the since everything is card swiped. Nothing is free. No, everything.
Nothing.
Listen, if somebody's and it doesn't matter whether you're a cop or something. Somebody's giving you something for free. They're expecting
the implication
something for
is
it.
not good. You are held at a different scrutiny.
And I want to say something for those who are making fun of cops and donuts.
Yeah,
donuts.
What's wrong with donuts?
Yeah. What is wrong with donuts?
Right.
I love donuts.
Everybody loves donuts.
Everyone does love them.
You got to go somewhere.
You got to go.
You can't always be McDonald's because that's I'm very unhealthy.
Yeah, you mean.
And Dunkin' Donuts has good coffee.
They do.
And I want the cops to be drinking coffee.
Yes.
Because I want them to be alert.
And up.
So
And up,
I've never had a problem with that cliche.
Right,
It's
you-
like, what
I'd
about
rather
it?
coffee than cocaine.
No, the cops tasering people when they don't have to. That's another story altogether. But the donut thing, I'm cool with that. I'm all for a donut fund. As far as an additional perk goes, I think the cops ought to have lots of perks and lots of pay and lots of vacation time. And good cops deserve everything that we can do for them as a society.
Hey, no free
and lots of incentives, especially for like if the cops were really good at policing themselves, I'd have nothing to complain about as far as cops stepping out of line because they know.
Yep.
No,
they know.
No free promo, but there's a great donut shop. I know you guys already know about it. East on Hollywood Boulevard. You know what I'm talking about.
Talking about Dandy Donuts?
Yeah, you know.
Fuck those people.
Where's
they have
that
Fox News on there. They
do?
put Fox News on their TV. I'm not going there
Anybody that
anymore.
has Fox News.
Here, Mister, representing
fucking
freedom of
fascists.
speech.
This is me exercising my freedom of speech.
Okay.
They can have whatever they want on their TV.
You're just not gonna
they could
support
have a Confederate flag,
Right.
and they could have a paper mache
KKK
paper mache President Obama hanging from a noose in their place of business. I have the right not to go in there and
Well, that
shoot
is
my
true.
business.
Just because of that, we can't go to Waffle Works anymore.
I can't go to Waffle Works
really?
anymore. Fucking Fox News on there.
Yep. That guy.
No, I didn't.
Have you checked every TV? Maybe they got CNN on
Yep.
one and Fox
Yep.
on the other.
Nope.
Wouldn't that be a beautiful thing?
I looked at all of them. How about put the Cartoon Network on there?
That would help.
Listen. I wouldn't be crazy if I went in there and they have MSNBC on. I'm a customer. I don't want to be pitched a political product while I'm sitting here. All right. You know what's wrong? You go over here to it used to be Wings and Things. Now it's Tom and Jay's Wings. Since you're a local guy, you know. And by the way, get some good help in there for the love of God because the food is good. But what do they have on their TV? Music videos. What's wrong with a nice music video? What's wrong with just pretty pictures or a beach scene or something like that?
That would help because I don't want to watch Young Thug
Pitch
in
me
a
a
skirt.
political point of view. So no, I'm not going to patronize those people. Fox News is propaganda, and they're not pro cop. They're not pro anything. The right wingers, they're
dollars.
against taxes for social services and civil services, and that's what the police department is. It's a social service. It's a civil service. I'm for more money for police and firemen, not less money for police and firemen. And the right wingers are anti that. So screw that, and screw you, Dandy Donuts. Sorry, this is my radio show. I can say what I want.
Yeah.
The good thing about Dandy Donuts is if you go in there, you smell like you took a bath in the deep fat, because they don't have the whatever the hoods that are blowing out there. They aren't good enough. So you leave there smelling like a donut. That's
we
a
were
good
at
thing.
that restaurant Columbia in Tampa recently, in Ybor City. You ever been up there? Ybor City near Columbia. It's just the oldest restaurant in Florida, 1905, Spanish restaurant. You walk in, it's a palace, and it smells of garlic. I mean, like garlic, 100 years of garlic wafting out of a
That sounds
kitchen.
good.
My God.
It's healthy.
That's what my laundry basket smells
man.
like.
Very healthy.
Yeah.
Hello, SoFlo Radio. You're on the air.
How's it going?
Great. Who's this?
This is Brad with By the Glass Show.
Hey, Brett Hubbard from By the Glass, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, after a million attempts, I told Jack to keep. It's all Jack's fault. I told him to keep an eye on the screen, and he
It's
said,
all Jack's fault,
he said,
definitely.
"Screw that, Brett Hubbard."
Always.
And his shiny teeth. How you doing? I've been promoting the thing that we're doing tomorrow, Beer Fest in Fort Lauderdale.
New Times Beer Fest, 17th annual. Come out and drink with us. We'll have a good time. We're going to party and cause a lot of ruckus.
Yes, and stop by the booth, our booth, the broadcast booth.
Absolutely. We have the SoFlo Radio booth out there, By the Glass Show. We'll be on live from 6 to 7:30. We'll be drinking, having a good time, and just be crazy. Come on out. Definitely down at Esplanade Park, downtown Fort Lauderdale.
What do the tickets
Yeah.
cost? Do you know how much the tickets cost? People have been asking me.
$30.
Okay, but that's like
probably if you come in like it's rated 7, you might be able to get some at a little bit of a discount price. Sometimes when the event's going on and they pack it in, possibly they'll discount them at the door. But they're $30 right now, which isn't too bad because there's over 100 different beers. You got a lot of different vendors,
right.
food trucks, and
and
whatnot.
food.
So
That's all you can drink.
For the 30, what?
Yeah, you
what
just
do you get
keep
for the 30.
all the beer you can drink from how many beer?
There's about 100 different beers, but there's probably going to be at least 50 or 60 different types of vendors, suppliers, breweries.
Great.
So,
All
yeah,
right.
it's going to be great.
You need security?
Yeah. No.
Sure, what are you doing?
we'll be providing insecurity. Thanks for calling in, Brett.
All right, buddy. Have a good day. Take
I'll
care.
see you tomorrow. Bye. Brett Hubbard, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, love the beer fests. No, you know the thing. They give you the little cup. Sometimes it's on a chain and everything, and you go out there and they fill it up, and you get back in line to another one, and you fill it up, and you drink beer all night.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sure, they have these. I think
Kent will be in heaven.
I think Young Circle. That would
Except
be.
they don't have Amanda working there. You know
Agreed.
me. I'm a sucker for those little G girls.
We will have beer bunnies.
There will be
at
beer
our
bunnies?
at our booth. We'll have SoFlo beer bunnies.
You will?
Yeah. What do you think? This is not this rinky-dink bush league outfit over here. SoFlo Radio. We're going to have
It's not gonna be your
women.
ex-wife, is it? We'll go all
Women
out.
handing out. No, I said bunnies, not hogs. Beer hogs, ladies and gentlemen. Here she is. My ex-wife. Well, yeah. If I give you your address, could you go arrest her for being a bitch?
It's a crime in our new world.
Just cite some statute, section 5.
Disorder your living?
Subsection C-38, just being a piece of crap.
C word.
Just run her in from there. No, I don't like the C word. In the name of all of the, I have daughters, nieces, and all of the women in my life. I don't like that word. I don't like the C word or the N word. It doesn't sound good when I hear it. I kind of wince up when I hear that. And by the way,
Jerry, he hates when I say nigga, but he loves when I say nigga.
Does
that make any sense?
See, what I do love is the effect it has on the ratings, because I'm a bottom line oriented kind of guy. But I don't want to say that. Because
if your mom
and by
said
the way,
it would start with an S, wouldn't it? So
if you use it in an argument, you automatically lose the argument. Like anything, if you use any ethnic or gender related epithet in an argument, you lose the argument. Because then you're showing your hand and you're saying, oh well, you feel that way because you don't like fill in the blank. Right. So I'm very careful not to use that kind of language because I don't want anybody to think that my opinion is jaded by sexism or racism or anything like that. And I just don't like the way it sounds. I mean, I was in Blowing Rock, North Carolina, and I was a little kid, and one of my friends was black, and one of my friends called him the N-word, and the look on his face was it was sad and disappointed. Like, really, man, really, and I don't ever want to cause that kind of a feeling in someone else. You know, just the disappointment, because you could tell it's like he thought more of his friend than that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And wow, you really went there. And that would just be incredibly embarrassing to me. And now all I got to do is stop using the word fag. I mean, that's the last one that I'm working on. My gay friends, they know where I stand, but it's nevertheless, to use a synonym for homosexual as an insult is wrong. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry I called you a fag all those times. Kent, really sorry about that.
Do you know? I just learned of a derogatory term that gay guys use towards women. They call women fishes.
Yeah, okay. You never knew that?
I didn't know that was a gay guy term.
It's a guy. I mean, you say, but they would always say, "Leave the fish at home next time."
Yeah.
Well, see, I didn't know that. The female friend was like, "Oh, you're a fish. Go, you're a fish. Like, look, don't call me a fish. All right? you're saying that I protrude an odor or whatever the case may be. Like, call me by my name. You word you just used.
Fag.
Yeah. Fag, fish, fag. They both got the F word.
Yeah.
Well, Joe Jackson, who's gay, the singer, sang "Stepping Out" and all those other ones. He's got a song, and one of the lines in the song is, "Don't call me a faggot unless you're my friend," which I think speaks volumes. You understand? Like, I know where you're coming from. It's like, okay.
Whatever happened to sticks and stones may break my bones.
Oh, please. See, all you genericans, Kent Wallace. Wallace is Scottish last time I checked.
Yeah.
Scottish. Where's your kilt? Buddy, all you Scots, you wear kilts.
A freaking black guy ran by and stole it. Can you go out?
Why do Scots wear kilts?
So they get free ball?
I really don't know. I can't
Because
answer that.
Sheep can hear a zipper a mile away.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah,
that's a good one. I like that. That's good.
There you go, Kent Wallace. Yes, Scotsman.
Yes, Scotsman. Yeah.
Scots are so stupid they don't even realize they're free to leave. They live way up there. Like England, the weather is horrible in England. Where is it worse? North of England.
Well, that's always struck me about the Irish. They left there because of a potato famine. Now they can fish. You're on an island,
right?
So the potatoes aren't there, so you got to get on a boat and leave. I mean, that always cracked me up. But those are the Irish.
That was just an excuse.
They just wanted to get over here.
They just wanted to get over here, right? Listen, I've been hearing this all my life. You're not a political refugee. You're an economic refugee. And I'm like, isn't your name O'Brien? And you're giving me shit, Please.
So Please. Colombian, but Sommer, what's the last name? What's the...
Well, my father's Hungarian, and
oh boy,
yeah.
But you thought the Colombians were bad.
Oh man,
fucking Hungarians.
My father, when he came to the United States,
was he a gypsy? Did
no.
he stow away when he came over here?
No, he wasn't.
He
actually escaped from Hungary. He stole a military plane. And flew it over the.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I was like that Cuban guy. That Cuban guy that defected with the MiG. Can you imagine getting the call? You're in the Air Force and you got a call on the radio. It's like, hola. Me llamo José Jiménez. Y mira, ¿te interesa un MiG? Tengo aquí un MiG. Well, would you like a MiG over here? Can I interest you in a MiG? It's fresh. That's freshly fueled.
¿Cómo cuánto?
Did you hear the rest of the story about that guy? No. Back to your father's story in a minute. The guy that defected, because you heard that story, the Cuban guy that defected with the MiG, left his family back there. Such a hero within the Cuban exile community, and he had an idea to get his family out. So he got somebody to lend him a Cessna. He got word through second and third parties to his family to meet him on a stretch of highway at a certain time at night. He flew the Cessna over to Cuba from Key West, over the water really low. I think he took off from Marathon or something like that. Over the water really low, landed on the stretch of highway, picked up his family, flew them out in a Cessna. Falls on that guy. So, he got out the first time, and now he's going back. So your dad stole a military plane. I want to hear more about that. This is an exciting story.
Back in back in the early 60s, it was communist still.
Sure.
And my father was he used to fly around those little Cessnas, those little planes back in the day. And he wanted to come to the States. So he wanted to escape Hungary because of the communism. And him and his friend, they planned it for a whole year to steal a military plane. And
it's classic.
What kind of plane? I want to know.
I don't know.
I need to know this.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
need
find
closure
out for you. I'll find
on
out
this.
for
Yeah.
you. And he stole a plane, and then it got shot down, and it actually just crossed the Austrian border.
No
yeah.
shit. Did they
Yeah.
parachute or was
No,
they just
actually
ditched
landed.
it? Yeah.
They landed there, and then they met some people.
Oh,
in Austria,
unbelievable.
And he found his way over to New York City and then to L.A.
All right.
So, yeah, go
And
Pops.
wound up in San Francisco.
Man.
Good man.
Francisco, yeah.
And
So- and the last name is not really Hungarian. It's actually a name they gave him when he
Like Don
changed
Vito.
Yeah.
They named him.
Corleone
They named him after the town because
That's
that's what it said.
Corleone.
The Corleone.
Yeah.
So you guys kept it. Well, you didn't keep the tradition going, but
the flying
The
thing.
flying thing, right?
My brother is a pilot, but he flies choppers. He flies helicopters.
Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, I wish I really never got into flying. I wish I would have gotten into flying, but
What did you do in the? Oh, you were an MP.
Yeah,
Sorry, SP.
right. SP.
Should say. Did you? When I was learning how to be a repo man, how are you doing out there, Charlie? Charlie was an Army MP. The guy that taught me. I was a rider. He was the agent. That's the repo team and the rider. Like, you ever see the movie Repo Man? The rider is the younger guy that's training somebody. The repo man takes the car, and the rider takes the repo man's car away from the scene, and they meet up later. So I'm a rider, and I'm learning from Charlie. Charlie's about 5'8", and he was in the Army, and he was in Vietnam, and he was an MP. And if I may quote Charlie, I said, because Charlie was racist as all hell. And so, of course, I'm trying to get war stories out of him. You know, come on, Charlie, tell me about something. So, have you ever shoot anybody, Charlie? And, you know, finally, he's like, yeah, I shot lots of people. And I go, so you were in war zones, and did you use a rifle? Were you part of a? You know, tell me how that went and everything like that. But I never shot a Vietnamese. And I go, oh, okay. So you were in Vietnam. And you shot lots of people, but they weren't Vietnamese. Who'd you shoot, Charlie? Well, I was an MP. It was my job to keep the American soldiers in line. So you had to shoot Americans? He goes, I shot more, say the word,
niggas,
than anything else. They'd go into town, they'd get all drunk, they'd pull out their guns, they'd start shooting the locals. Somebody had to take them down. That was our job. That was what we did almost every night. We had to go out there, and these soldiers, they would come in from out of the field. They would be all crazy out of their mind. They'd be on who knows what drugs that they got from the locals, and they'd be drunk, and they'd be on drugs, and they'd be all shell-shocked, and they'd be all jaded, and they'd been shooting Vietnamese all day long, and then now they're drunk, and you got to tell them not to shoot these Vietnamese that are getting them pissed off here in town. And so they
fuck white women.
Those are the stories that I got from Charlie. I don't suppose you have any exciting stories like that. What does an Air Force security guy do? You just check credentials at the guard gate there at Homestead.
Well, that's one of the. It's one of the jobs. The other job is we have our nuclear missiles in Montana.
Oh yeah, yes, big silos. As a matter of fact, some of them are emptied out and for sale now. I want to buy an empty silo and build a little community inside there.
Cool. Those silos are called LFs, launch facilities, and then
there's scads of them throughout there.
Hundreds of them.
Well, you're getting ready to go. You better shout out his show, The Vault, again before you.
Do that. Promote your show, because I want to go to that on November 20th.
Come out to Comedy Vault, located at 2001 Green Street in Hollywood, Florida. The comedian headliner is going to be Gene Harding. He is hilarious. Look him up on YouTube. The show starts at 8 p.m. and it's $10.
And what day of the week was it again?
Oh, November 20th, Thursday.
20th.
What? Why are you stopping talking?
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, I thought Kent Wallace was going to keep on talking.
I was just prompting here. I was doing that.
Kent, when are we starting your show on Cahoots?
Very shortly.